itsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Up came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Honestly, it's giving flood control.
It's giving sapot.
It's giving sapot, salot in one.
Sapot salot. Oh my God.
That, alam mo yung itsy bitsy spider, ang memory ko dyan talagang inaral namin yan nung ako ay bata pa.
Mga grade 4 yan, di ba?
Ako baka nga younger eh.
Ay, oo, actually mga nursery, ano yan
Correct.
may yan, preparatory.
Ano bang mga favorite nursery rhyme mo pa?
For me, I think the I'm a Little Teapot. Alam mo sis, gusto kong magkaroon tayo ng music video
Aha.
na tinuturo natin ang mga nursery rhymes.
Correct.
Sana merong lumapit sa atin na direktor.
Diba? Like yung mga Baba Black Sheep. Ayan.
Oo, Baba Black Sheep.
Humpty Dumpty.
Oo, saan nyo siya dalahin? Wait lang, pamatala tayo agad.
Oh my God. Diba?
Ganon.
Correct. So, kamusta ka naman sis? Alam mo, na-realize ko, nung last episode, nanggaling tayo ng Bangkok, pero hindi na siya masyadong pinag-usapan.
Hindi natin siya masyado na pag-usapan kasi we're on a high.
We're on a
I mean, we're on a high.
sa shoot.
Yeah, sa shoot, we're on a high note. Pero sige, pag-usapan natin ng very quick ang
Correct.
ating biyahe.
Aha. I mean, i-describe natin in one word.
Sige.
Trip natin. Sabay na i-mind meld natin in 3, 2, 1.
Ecstatic. Ecstatic.
Bakit ecstatic yung sayo?
Kasi alam mo, whenever I am in Bangkok, parang parang siyang yung improved version ng NCR. Alam mo na, di ba, ang vibrant ng city, ang daming pwedeng gawin.
Sobrang Manila pa rin talaga yung temperature
Oo.
and even yung pagiging dense niya.
Yeah.
But for some reason, parang merong method to the chaos ng Bangkok. Kasi yung atin parang most of the time chaos.
Oo, yung kanila parang yung chaos na tinatawag for them. Siguro pwede nating sabihin na calculated chaos. Oo. Yung atin kasi super chaos. Ikaw?
Ako naman yung akin pasabog because ginawa naman talaga natin yung trip na yon as parang retreat. It was like a 44-hour retreat for us. Kasi I think maganda rin na na-experience natin together of just like may mga silences lang, mawala tayo, anong gusto mong puntahan, ilang kape tayo today. Kasi pag nandito parang the next 8 steps are already lined up. Pero doon, like, bahala ka.
Correct. Tsaka ang nagustuhan ko dun sa trip natin, talagang nakilala natin ang ating mga sarili.
Correct. I think may isang part, meron akong kinikwento, medyo naiyak ka. Parang, so parang ko, in fair.
Oo, diba?
So yes, confirming, nag-away po kami.
Tapos tinanong ako ni Baus, sabihin nyo, saan siya dalahin?
Saan niyo siya dalahin?
Oo. Pero sige, i-recap natin ng very light yung mga ginawa natin.
Correct.
What do you think about the tuk-tuk ride?
Sobrang iconic ng tuk-tuk ride natin. Only because na-traffic tayo for 40 minutes.
Oo, na-traffic po kami for 40 minutes mga sis.
Oo.
Grabe yun.
Pero gusto ko like may hangin-hangin, usap-usap. Tapos tipo, kailangan malakas yung boses mo kasi maingay.
Oo, nasa tuk-tuk kami, nagkikwento si Pao sa akin. Oh, sis, ating, oo.
Ano kayo sinasabi niya?
Ang ingay kasi nung tuk-tuk.
Correct.
Masaya siya.
Correct. Tuk-tuk na, can I just say, feeling ko ang tuk-tuk, ang nag-coin nito ay si Carla Estrada.
Oh my God, true. Nag-echo siya.
Tuk lang dapat yun
Oo, tuk-tuk. Actually, may story to.
Story it out.
Yung dating king ng Thailand,
Okay.
in-invite niya si Carla Estrada na magpunta ng Bangkok to
Correct.
establish the Thai-Filipino friendship.
Correct. Tapos sabi nung king, this is the national dish,
Oo.
tuk.
Oo.
Tapos sabi ni Carla, tuk.
Oo. Kasi patanong yun eh. Tapos yung king, sabi nga, ka. Oo, ganon.
So ganun ang mga nangyari. Pero I am looking forward to like, ano ang magiging next destination natin. I mean, of course, pinapangarap ko mag-New York tayo. Pero like, maging realistic muna tayo. Siguro try muna natin ang Cebu.
like it. It's like an improved Manila also.
I think at this point, almost anywhere is an improved Manila.
Correct. Halos lahat na lang ng city sa ASEAN. Diba?
Pero pinipili pa rin natin ang Pilipinas.
Correct.
Katulad ng pagpili ni Carla Estrada.
Oo. Paano ngayon?
Yun yung piliin mo. Pili. Ay, sorry. I think at this
ulit
point,
siya.
3 weeks nang nagka-Carla Estrada sa pod. And iconic.
Correct. And since you've mentioned New York, there is this one series.
Okay.
And syempre naging movie rin naman na siya.
Dalawa pa.
Di ba? Yung isa nga doon, kinanta pa ni Fergie Ferguson.
Correct, di ba?
And Alicia Keys.
Correct.
New York.
Sex and the City. Sobrang iconic.
Super.
I mean, we are trentahin and millennial gays here. I am a Sex and the City nerd. There are weird clips that I will watch online and for some reason, I know the episode title. Ganun ko siya like kamahal. Yan yung time na sa HBO no late 90s. Oh my God, may word na sex yung title. Bawal ko yung panoorin. And then, nung napanood ko siya, sobrang queer-coded ng Sex and the City.
Talagang umuusbong ang kabaklaan. Tapos naalala ko pa noon, may time kasi nasa Studio 23, pinapalabas yung Sex and the City. Oo, may time eh. And then yung nanay ko, pagka tumunog na yung OBB, yung 10, sabi niya, takto ka muna sa room.
It's giving mindful parenting.
Mindful parenting. Pero alam mo, I know that you love Sex and the City. Nasubaybayan mo yan lahat.
Correct.
Ako, ang nasubaybayan ko yung dalawang movies. So, I'm sure meron kang mga unhinged facts
Correct.
about Sex and the City.
Of course, nandun ang chemical peel ni Samantha, kaya po ganito ang itsura namin now.
Oo, eto yan. Yan yung inspiration.
Correct. Minsan, chemical peel, madalas ito po ang nararanasan namin sa mga hate comments na natatanggap namin online.
Yes. And from chemical peel, chemical feel.
Correct. To sex appeal.
Yes,
Diba?
that.
Pero grabe ang Sex and the City. No, honestly, feeling ko grabe ang Filipino culture influence sa Sex and the City.
Oh yes, indeed.
I'm not sure kung alam ng mga tao to, pero ang head writer po ng Sex and the City ay si Dr. Margie Holmes.
Oh my God, sexy, saucy, and spicy. I remember her book.
Correct.
Na yan.
Diba?
And eventually, feeling ko si Doc Margie Holmes ay pinalitan din po ni Miss Mocha Uson.
Diba? Kasi nga ang cookie ni Mocha, ang cookie ni Mocha.
Correct. Umuulit, nag-e-echo. At alam po ninyo, si Miss Mocha Uson lang
Correct.
ang may kakayahan. Ilipat ang New York sa state of Wisconsin.
Diba? Grabe. Sabi niya, Wisconsin.
Pero naniniwala ka ba na ang Taal Volcano ay nasa Naga na?
Naniniwala ako that it is anywhere we want it to be. It is in the heart and in the service of the Filipino.
It's giving channel 2.
Correct. Ganun po talaga siya. At grabe rin ano ba, ang influence sa Sex and the City sa mga costumes. Diba?
Ay, grabe.
Ang kanilang legendary costume designer at the wardrobe maven na si Patricia Fields ay nag-shopping of course kay Genevieve Gozong.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Truly yun.
Yun,
Oo.
dear.
Tapos alam mo, balita ko, suki din siya ng Tabora.
At ng World Trade Bazaar.
Oh my God. Na ginaganap sa World Trade.
Correct, sa may Pasay.
Sa may Pasay, oo. And syempre, ang pagkuha niya ng mga accessories na talaga namang Broadway gems.
Correct. An icon.
Oo.
An icon of the kiosks.
Wait lang, curious ako. Ang Broadway gems ba ay related sa Broadway Center?
Feeling ko yes. I think isa lang ang may-ari nito. At ang may-ari nito ay si Miss Broadway.
Si Miss Broadway.
Si Matthew Broderick Way.
Nakapatid ni Roderick Paulate.
Actually, magkapatid sila.
Magkapatid sila.
Kasi ang nanay nila ay si Olga.
Si Olga po.
Si Olga.
Si Olga yung nanay.
Si Olga.
Grabe. Tapos alam mo, naaalala ko din, yung mga handkerchiefs dati.
Armando Caruso.
Grabe yun, Armando Caruso.
Alam mo, ako ay isang bata nung elementary na maraming nawalang panyo. Ako yun.
Bakit? Bakit lagi nawawala yung panyo mo?
Alam mo, kasi burara talaga ako nung bata. And I think ngayon medyo occasionally pa rin. Lagi yung pinapagalitan ng nanay ko kasi pag uwi ko walang panyo.
Ang mahal-mahal pa naman ng panyo na Armando Caruso.
Diba? Kaya feeling ko kaya ako tinakwil ng mga magulang ko.
At pumunta sila ng
Charing America sa nila dahil lagi nakakawala ng panyo, iwan ka namin sa
Iwan ka na namin.
Pilipinas. So,
The Armando Caruso, pero meron pang isa
Ano?
na favorite din ng mga tita.
ang
Karimadon.
Karimadon. alam mo yung karima doon, it is a certain kind of woman. I just feel ko like it's always power shoulder, geometric cut. Pag narinig ko yung karima doon, kasi K with an R and an M and an N, parang it's so strong. It's giving Muay Thai fighter.
It's giving Muay Thai fighter na occasionally mahilig sa Thai milk tea.
At mahilig manood ng Ghost Fighter.
Correct. Siya si Dennis.
Siya si Dennis Trillo. Honestly, Dennis, icon, like super gender fuck.
Diba? Yung rosas?
Diba? Si Dennis po ang nagsulat ng Kulay Rosas na sinulat na inawin.
Oo, nung panahon na yun.
At hindi ko
sabihin nyo. Wait lang. Dennis Trillo, what do you think? Iba, no?
Iba, dear. Saka,
Hello and welcome to Heart Starts Pounding, a podcast of horrors, hauntings, and mysteries. And today I have a very special episode for everyone because I'm joined by Miss Morgan Upshur.
Hello, everyone.
Morgan and I have a new show together, Clues.
We do.
Which, I mean, the response has been amazing. I know so many people from Heart Starts Pounding are listening, which has been so exciting to
It's
see.
been insane to see.
Yeah.
I love the community we have going so far.
We have a great community. We've done some really intense deep dives too so far. The first episode we did was on Lacey Peterson. We did the Golden State Killer, which is a huge case to cover.
Massive.
And then we have really interesting ones coming up. Like we did the case of Casey Anthony, which is
That one, yeah, I was blown away by that one. I still am shocked that, nothing really came of it. But hey, reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
We get into all of that and
totally. That was one where I didn't realize how much I didn't know about the case until we really dove into the research.
that and Lacey Peterson.
Yeah.
Which was such a widespread, widely known in the media case. And that's something I saw in the comments too on the video, is so many people were like, I thought I wasn't going to learn anything new. You guys went deeper than any other podcast did.
So if you haven't listened already, you can listen to Clues basically wherever you get your podcasts. It's on YouTube, it's streaming everywhere, and that has been really fun to work on with you.
It's been great. I love it. I love working with you.
And I'm so excited for today because today we're gonna do kind of a classic. Well, this is new for Heart Starts Pounding.
Okay.
I wanted to find something that was halfway between Heart Starts Pounding and Two Hot Takes, which is your show. We just recorded an episode.
We did.
I'm so excited for that one to come out. But I wanted to find just really scary internet stories. And so we're going to divide these up today. You have stories that you're going to read. You're coming in cold too, which I'm
Blind
excited
reacting.
for. I'm really excited for that because
I don't do that often.
No.
Ever.
Yeah, you usually read through things, you know exactly what you're going to say. But what I like about it being scary stories is I want to get your reaction as you're reading.
You guys, I'm such a jump scare type person. I'm really excited for this experience.
So your stories that you have are a little more grounded. They're horror of our world, I'll say. And then the ones that I have are borderline supernatural.
Ooh.
They're horror from, some would say, another realm.
Okay.
And so we're both going to read our stories, and I want the audience to let me know which stories they think are scarier.
Ooh.
I have some people that are all about, I want facts, I want science, I want the real world stories.
Okay.
And some people that are I just want a really good ghost story. Tell me really spooky ghost story. So I'm excited. We have a bunch from both. All right, shall we begin reading our stories? Okay, so you have the first one.
Ooh, okay.
That I want you to read to me because I haven't heard this one.
Okay, it is titled, He Was Making Human Traps. I grew up on the countryside, right next to a national park, frequently visited by nature lovers and bird enthusiasts. It was kind of the park where you're not really allowed to bike or ride horses, only walk or run. But 10-year-old me felt it was a stupid rule and did so anyways, because the trails were perfect for it. I knew fully well that I wasn't supposed to do that, and was caught a few times, but nothing much came of it apart from a half-hearted, don't do it again. And I did, of course, until one day something frightening happened that made me stop. My family were horse breeders, and I would often take off on the horses for a ride, usually in the Forbidden Park. This day, very early morning, the first day of the summer holiday, it was beautiful outdoors. Misty and foggy, yet a sky that promised a sunny day ahead. Since it was so early, before 6 o'clock, I knew there wouldn't be anyone on the trail to see me, so I let the horse set off full speed along the trail. I only slowed down on the part of the trail that got steep on one side, leading down to the river, because the thought of one step too close to the edge was too much even for a kid with next to non-existent risk assessment skills. Suddenly, the horse came to a halt and refused to take another step. I grew up with horses all my life. I know that usually indicates that you need to investigate. Is there something with the hooves? Did the horse spot something that spooked it? The hooves were fine, but the horse didn't move an inch. That's when I saw it. Someone had set up a trap, a thin, sharp metal wire across the trail, in perfect neck height for an adult. I stopped and looked around, but didn't see anyone. The wire was well attached to 2 trees and impossible for me to remove, so I led the horse around it, and to do so, I had to walk a bit up into the wooded area on the side of the trail. That's when I heard the singing. There's a song called Hey Tomtaman, and it was that melody, but the lyrics were different and sung in a muffled, sniggering voice. Today, I only remember parts of it, but translated, it would have been something like, "Hey, all you runners, come here passing, let the life blood pour out." I, as silently as I could, and with my heart in my throat, backed away, got up on the horse, and hurried back the way I came as fast as I could. I knew I had to tell someone about it, but at the same time, wanted to avoid admitting to riding a huge and very forbidden horse on those protected trails. So now I had a problem. The old stories about a mad old man living in the shed in the woods, a shed that was once a cottage for the local hunter, came back to me as I hung on the horse for dear life. I got home and told my older brother what had happened. He went back there with me in tow. We found the wire trap, and after a while of searching, we also found a spear-like pole in the ground, right on the spot where you'd land if you came running and jumped over the fallen tree on the trail. That's when we called the police. The area was searched, and several similar traps were found, but no sight of the old man. The following summer, though...
Pero anong magiging unity, babe? Uh-oh, 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 oh no no. Uh-oh, 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 oh no no. Uh-oh. Got me looking so crazy, my baby. I'm not myself lately. I'm foolish.
I'm foolish, police si Beyonce.
Oh my God, foolish siya. Baby, I don't care, 'cause your love's got the best of me.
And baby, you're making a fool of me. Let me say, I don't care who sees.
Baby, you got me.
You got me
So crazy. Police, Balio.
Beyonce is SPO3.
Siya po ang... pero anong magiging unit ni Beyonce pag naging police siya?
Maging unit siya, condo unit.
Tama.
Diba? Pre-selling already, turnover by 2028.
Saktong-sakto sa 2028. Pero alam mo, napapaisip ako, bakit nga ba tayo wearing blue and red colors for this episode?
Because it is Valentine's.
Oh, Valentine.
Yeah, so nag-lipstick tayo because we just wanna attract certain gentlemen.
Hi, kung nanonood ka, lalo na doon sa nilibre ko ng Mariah Carey ticket. Hindi makamove on!
Ganun na lang. So kilala ko naman yung crush mo.
Oo.
So, hindi natin sasabihin kung sino. Pero
Yes.
like, magbigay ka ng mensahe para sa kanya. Go.
Sana masaya ka kung nasaan ka ngayon. And congratulations sa Mazda 3 mo. Kasi may kotse na siya ngayon.
Very good, very
Congratulations sa'yo.
Okay, very good.
Pero Mare, ang ganda ng lips natin.
Correct. It's giving labia minora.
It's giving labia mahora.
It's giving family is love.
What is... Wait lang, anong gamit mong lipstick? Kasi it's glossy, ang ganda.
I am using Mac.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Minsan laptop, madalas na sa labi.
Ako naman, pambabae yung ginamit ko.
Ano ginamit mo?
Shiseido.
Shiseido. I love it. There always is a kwento.
It was 1885 in Ginza, Tokyo,
Correct.
Japan.
Oo.
When a female named Miss Joraru Barukomarana
Marana.
Yeah.
Yes.
invented a lipstick for women.
Correct.
And then, sinabi niya lang at ginawa niya, and therefore she Seido.
Correct. And then doon na imbento ang unang-unang lipstick at ang unang-unang multi-level marketing.
Tama. Doon unang nanggaling ang marketing.
At ang unang pyramids.
So, alam niyo na po, lalong-lalo na sa mga involved.
Oh my God, ito na. Speaking of involved.
Okay,
So,
involved.
we are filming this episode the day after yung pinost natin na sa Reddit, merong nag-post na nag-joke-tsakan daw sila ng jowa niya tuwing may dog show divas. And it has happened for 3 times already. Honestly, it's giving dog style divas.
Feeling ko kailangan natin gumawa ng segment, Dog Style Divas.
Correct.
Mag-share kayo ng mga experience ninyo.
Correct.
No filter, babasahin namin.
Correct.
And then we will react.
Correct.
Pero nakakaloka yan. Nabasa ko din yan.
Diba? Siguro ngayon, kung yung couple na to ay nanonood, we will talk to you directly. Go! Laban mo yan! Kaya mo yan! We will cheer you! Go!
Go! Gusto mo, maglagay pa kayo ng CCTV sa loob ng kwarto tapos merong voice command.
Correct.
Magsasabi siya, sige, ipasok mo pa.
Ipasok mo, ibomba mo, ibomba mo.
Diba? Lalabas na? Go! Labas lang.
Okay na? O, pahinga, may crispy pata ba?
Oh my God, yun ang napapaisip ako minsan, sis. Bakit ang mga nagchuchok-tsaka na couples, whether Becky, Shiboli, or mga hetero na yan,
Mga hetero na yan, the disdain and the tone of mga hetero na yan.
di ba talagang galit eh.
Galing.
Hindi, bakit laging ganun? Ang sarap kumain ng pagkain after chuk-chak.
Correct. Kasi nga, ang dami
Theory.
ang dami nilang na-burn na calories. So, kailangan nilang lahatin ang food pyramid at ang go, grow, and glow foods.
Tama.
Diba?
Nag-grow.
Nag-grow ang Nutring.
Nutrisa. Correct.
Correct.
Nutriban.
Correct. Nutrisa Hontiveros.
Oh my God. Yon ang dapat na maging plataforma ni Senator Risa Ontiveros. Nutrisa Ontiveros.
for Poppers Pilipinas Party List.
Oh my God. Nutrisa Ontiveros. Ang nutrition ay para sa lahat.
Diba? Titindig para sa Pilipino. Titigasan ang loob para sa'yo.
Tama. At lalabas lahat ng korap.
Correct. Nutrisa Hontiveros.
Wherever you are,
Whoever you are a superstar.
you are a superstar.
Nutrisa Hontiveros.
Nutrisa
Oh my God, a
Hontiveros.
fucking icon.
Diba? It's not Nutriban anymore. It's Nutrisa Ontiveros.
Tinitigasan ako sa plataforma mo,
Diba? Nutrisa, lalabasan lahat ng mga korap para umalis ng Pilipinas.
Sabi Nutrisa.
Ganyan.
A moment of silence for the excellence of Nutrisa Hontiveros.
Okay, ito na. Mare, I think we have to address the mammal in the room or the elephant in the room.
Oh, the elephant in the
That's
room.
why we're wearing
Oh, correct.
these
So,
colors.
Valentine's Day. Honestly, I will not be surprised if the very first Valentine's Day was actually celebrated in Valenzuela. Because Valenzuela is part of the Kamanava area. And the
Mhm.
Kamanava always continues to be the moral compass of modern human elements.
Correct. And Miss Christina Aguilera in 2001 made a song that revolves around the Kamanava area.
Correct.
Diba? It's giving Prinsesa ng Banyera. It's giving all the tuna, all the dalagang bukid.
Sabi niya,
Valentine's Day is such a big day, not just for Filipinos, but to all those who are craving for sex.
and for the kabets. Honestly, I do feel for the kabets out there.
Talaga?
Because I feel like maybe Valentine's Day, parang sa Valentine's Day na to, mapopromote na ba ako? Or will I just hide in the shadows like I always do?
Alam mo, yun ang mahirap, no? Kapag kakabit kayo, hindi mo alam, para kang may boss din eh.
Correct.
Ano ba, mapopromote na ba ako next month? Or madedethrone na ba ako?
Correct. Pang ilan na ba?
Oo.
Ah.
Pang fourth na ba ako in line?
Ako ba ang
Ganyan.
fourth concubine?
Oo. Ako ba ang fourth coven? Coven?
Or ako ang fourth impact?
Oh my God, fourth impact. Ito yung band na sumali sa
Sa X Factor.
X Factor.
Na mahilig sa Shih Tzu. let us move on.
Wait, wait lang. I wanna talk about the fourth.
Okay. Okay.
So iba yung fifth. Okay, Fifth Harmony is the one in US.
Yung sa kanila, Boston Terrier yung kanila.
Yeah, I got it. So so Filipino tong Fourth Impact.
Yes.
I see. Oh, sila yung
Arf!
Arf. Okay, Fourth Impact, whoever you are, wherever you are, don't poop. Hindi kasi di ba pag mahilig ka sa aso,
Correct.
pagka naka-leash, don't poop.
Yes.
Oh, ganon.
Pero Valentine's, honestly, nung high school ako, bilang baning na maraming girlfriends at lahat sila may ka-love team, fucking hated Valentine's Day. Lahat sila merong blue magic, may pakilig. Samantalang ako, andun ako, wala lang.
Alam mo, I hate Valentine's also.
Diba?
Kasi pag Valentine's Day, dun mo talaga malalaman kung sino yung magaganda.
Correct.
Never ako naging muse, never ako naging escort.
Because you were always
Sergeant Arms. Diba? So pag mag-aaway na yung mga magchochowa, doon lang ako papasok.
as resback.
Huwag kayong mag-aaway tapos lalandi ka dun sa boyfriend. Huwag kayong mag-aaway.
Malungkot ka ba?
Diba? So feeling ko, Valentine's Day is such an iconic moment para sa ating mga sweethearts. Kasi, para siyang himig handog.
Yes.
Gift giving.
Mga single rose na nakabalot sa cellophane. Diba? Siguro nung ni-recycle yun yung cellophane na nasa Christmas basket nila noong December, in-upcycle nila for a February gift.
Correct. Tapos yung fruit salad nila nung New Year, nasa freezer lang yan ng 4 na linggo.
Correct. And of course, yung blue magic na yan, which signifies serious siya sa'yo.
OMG, alam mo,
nagbigay sa akin ng blue magic.
wala. Sa akin may nagbigay naman nung high school. Pero
Must be
ballpen.
nice.
Pero ballpen.
Blue magic na ballpen.
Oo, meron may ballpen sa blue magic eh.
Okay.
So, yung may mga glitters lang. Tapos pag ginanon mo, kasi may water siya. Pero na-appreciate ko yon. Kasi mahilig ako mangolekta ng ballpen na maliit ako. Pero, alam mo, hindi naging kami. Kasi syempre high school pa lang yon.
Nasaan na siya ngayon?
Wala akong idea, pero feeling ko nasa na siya ngayon, sa California. Isa na siyang nurse.
Di biro maging nurse, dapat mauna sa sakit.
Ang safeguard soap.
Ang sponsor natin, kaya hindi shield ang aming babanggitin.
Hindi po siya bayad ng Procter & Gamble. Charing lang. Pero, nauso yan ng mga Valentines. Pero pag-usapan natin, yung mga notebook, kasi di ba uso yun dati?
Oh my God.
Yung kapag
Yes.
ka meron kang notebook, love letter, ang mga kapalitan, ng mga pokining ina.
Correct. The apex predator and the you've made it of all notebooks.
Correct. Oh my God, si Katleya. First of all, the notebook name, Katleya, ang taas pakinggan.
Taas na ang bakla pa.
Katleya, kung sino ka man, napapaisip ako kung sino yung manufacturer ng Katleya notebook. Bakit? Kasi ang Katleya, bulaklak.
Correct. Diba? Katleya, feel ko Katleya yung notebook mo nung bata ka ngayon, isa ka ng power gay na nagla-launch lamang sa Manila House.
Oh my God. Tama.
Diba?
Tapos hindi siya nagti-TNVS.
Correct.
Meron siyang driver.
Business class lagi yung ticket niya.
Tama.
Pero marami siyang utang.
Oh my God, ang taas pala na utang niya sa credit card. Siya yung darling of the crowd.
Correct.
Diba? Pero yung mga Katleya notebook kasi, remember in college, it comes with also different colors.
Yes.
Diba? Like for example, kapag blue, what does it signify?
Royalty
Yeah.
and DDO.
Because they find ways.
They have always found ways.
How about pag orange Katleya?
Pag orange ang Katleya mo, it's giving Tampico juice.
Oh my God, ngayon ko lang ulit narinig yung Tampico juice na yan.
Tampico juice, napakaasim, mas maasim pa sa bakla.
Di ba Tampico juice talagang right from the source yan?
Yes.
Kasi merong isa pa yung Tropicana.
Correct. Hi, Pepsi fam.
Hindi, pero Tampico kasi social.
Saka maasim talaga, girl.
Oo. Kasi right from the source talaga.
Correct. As in, from Orange County.
Oh my God, yes. Totoo.
Doon siya galing.
Oo. So ano sila? Eme lang. Hindi ko na sasabihin. Okay, next would be, what do you think about Corona? The Corona notebook.
I was thinking of the virus and the alcoholic beverage, but you are right. It was also a notebook in my life.
Diba? Minsan napapaisip ako, ano ba yung mas high quality? Yung Cattleya notebook or yung Corona notebook?
Feeling ko I think for me, Cattleya yung mas premium.
Okay.
So feeling ko pag major subject, science, math, English, Cattleya yan. Pero kung tipong hele, economics and livelihood education, baka ano lang yan. Also my God, sa hele, tinuruan tayong gumawa ng pin cushion, tinuruan tayong gumawa ng gelatin, at ng pineapple jam. Honestly, andyan ang hele to perpetuate heteronormative gender stereotypes.
And feeling ko, kailangan nating idulog sa Department of Education na tanggalin na ang hele.
Correct.
Na kailangan ng mga ituturo na sa kabataan ay mga practical activities in life.
Katulad ng papaano mag-Gen Z selfie.
Correct. Number 2, gusto namin idulog sa DepEd na kailangan ituro din sa kabataan kung paano tumawid.
At kailangan ituro din sa kabataan kung papaano maging magalang sa mga trentahin.
We are trentahins now.
We are. Fortunately, unfortunately, only time will tell.
Correct. We have to address the trentahin topic.
Okay.
Very, very quick.
Go ahead.
What are the changes na napansin mo as a trentahin?
Ayoko sa maingay.
Same. One time nasa BGC ako, or we can say Baguhang City. Baguhang City.
Diba? Doon ang portal.
Nandun ang portal. Oo, yung bilog doon, di ba?
Okay.
Pwede kang mamaki doon. By the way. By the way, ang daming maingay na Gen Z sa BGC. Hindi ako nakala.
And also, yung pader sa BGC, sa gitna ng Toby's Estate at Gentle Monster, pagod na siya guys.
Correct.
Mga isang dekada na ata siyang nandun.
Oo.
Nakita niyo na lahat ng kakalatan. Pagpahingahin niyo siya.
Maawa kayo sa pader. Kung nakakapagsalita lang ang pader, siguro ang sabi nga, fuck you tong mga pa-picture, sandal na sandal sa akin. Tapos, pag tinignan mo yung Instagram with the same hashtag, it's, wala na ba kayong ibang maisip? Charot.
Sabi niya, ano ba yung mga hoodie niyo? May kulob.
We have to address what's happening in BGC right now.
But honestly, I think I have this particular sentiment because I wish I had that energy to post on that pader and just like ganun yung mga poster yung parang step forward.
Yung
Diba?
kunwari, candid.
Alam mo naman kami mga trentahin, mga Gen Z, inggit lang talaga kami sa inyo kaya kami maasim. Pero tuloy niyo yan.
Oo.
At dun sa pader na yon, honestly, that's not just the Hall of Fame, that is the Wall of Fame.
The Wall of Fame. A hole in the wall. Uy, baka magalit naman kayo sa amin ha. Hindi naman namin inaaway ang mga Gen Z. Ang ibig lang namin sabihin, huwag naman kayong masyadong maingay. Lalo na kapag kayo ay nasa isang central business district.
Sa Bagusa.
Oo. So, oo, yun lang naman.
Okay. Very, ang lakas baka tito nung comment na yun.
Hindi kasi sorry, baka mamaya kasi atakihin tayo sa Reddit at sa TikTok.
Lalo pag ginagano pa natin.
Oo.
Masyadong maingay.
Oo, ano? Kasi baka, no. It's just an observation.
Correct. We need the Gen Zs. We need cognitive diversity.
Correct.
Diba sa baybaway? Siyempre.
Correct.
Kasi mga Gen Z kayo.
Oo, baka bunutin nyo kami.
Like you like to do every 2.5 weeks.
Chos! Pero love namin kayo.
For now.
Wait lang. So, anyway, nabanggit mo yung Hele Girl.
Layo na.
Ano pa yung kailangan alisin ng DepEd? One last for this.
Ano or sino
Feel
ba dapat alisin?
Alisin nyo siya dyan, tang ina nyo. Ang sabihin mo, alisin. Yun. Wait lang, I'm afraid for my life. But anyway, okay, sige. Move on na tayo.
Move on na tayo kasi baka maging last episode na naman to.
Oo, or baka
nagpunta tayo sa notebook, ballpen naman.
Ballpen, yeah. Thank you. Kasi alam mo, yung ballpen na yan, meron ding mga tier-tier.
Correct.
Syempre, usong-uso yung favorite natin.
Yung favorite ni Ate Marian,
Yes.
ang Dong-a.
Ang Dong-a.
Diba?
Because when you write the story of your
Love.
Pag naka-GTEC ka, sis, anong impression mo sa tao? Pag naka-pilot na GTEC,
Pilot na GTEC, may pinapatunayan, may chip on their shoulder.
di ba?
Yeah.
Parang kumbaga sa opisina, ito yung may mga shoulder pads. Di ba pag naka-shoulder pad yung
Okay, first of
HR?
all, like, let's bring shoulder pads back.
Sige nga, di ba?
Next week, shoulder pads. Julian, you're listening. Shoulder
Julian.
pads next time.
Shoulder pads.
Okay, okay.
Let's be 90s all over again. Or 80s ulit.
Correct. Ano ba bang mga gel pen is, I don't know, for some reason it was marketed as maybe a premium or quite the sophisticated option. But I always thought yung mga gel pen medyo makalat silang isulat.
Makalat. Laging may smudge, no? Parang, tapos meron kang ano dito, yung marka dito.
Na parang ano ka ba, bumoto ka ba today?
Oo. Ano ba nangyari? Bakit may itim?
Correct.
Ganon. Syempre hindi rin mawawala, sis, I remember, yung mga notepad sa National
Correct.
Bookstore.
Oh my God, yung notepad sa National Bookstore kung saan ka magte-test ng tinta.
Yes.
Diba? Yun ang mga iconic eh. Ang dami niyang pinagdaanan yung pader sa BGC, yung pang-test mo na pad paper
Oo.
sa National Bookstore, tinitest mo kung may tinta.
Oo. Wait, sis, anong usual na nilalagay mo dun sa test ballpen paper na pag sa National Bookstore?
Wanted, tubero.
Oh my God, tatang ina. Diba? Huwag kayong maglalagay ng... Itigilin na yung mga smiley na yan.
Diba?
Diba? Bakit laging smiley yung nilalagay ninyo?
Your civic duty. Yung mga notes doon, ano ba mga pwedeng ilagay doon?
Ikulong ang mga kunwari, ikulong na yan.
Ikulong na
Ganon. O di kaya, ang sabihin ninyo. Pero eto kidding aside, wag na muna doon. Pwede niyong ilagay siguro yung cellphone number.
Correct. Diba? For mental health.
For mental health.
Because you never know when that anxiety will catch you.
Yes.
When your confidence might be a little low, honestly, that is like your civic duty to always be ready to lend a helping hand.
Totoo. Be the helping hand. Be the hand that helps. Dahil kapwa ko,
Mahal ko.
correct, ganon.
Kapag ko mahal ko, it's giving homosexuality.
Yes, it's giving Milker Manila.
It's giving M2M.
M2M the band.
Mirror, mirror, hanging on the wall.
Sa bagay, yung mga bayis videos nga naman, lagi nakatayo sila sa mirror.
The thirst trap gay mirror. We
Indeed.
all know that.
Indeed.
Yung medyo, yung shape niya is not symmetrical.
Indeed?
Where a certain fella who may or may not have an IG following count somewhere near 3,000 or 4,000. They always want to show everyone that mirror, soft lighting, tote bag, abs, and then it's always a self-deprecating caption like,
Sige, give us a sample, darling.
self-deprecating caption na, oh, this was nice.
Oo, ganon.
Might delete later. To those gays, continue nyo yan.
You do you.
Self-love yan. Huwag yun ang isipin na cringe yan because at this time, like, we don't know if the world will end tomorrow, so go do that kalat.
Diba? Magkalat lang kayo. Ba't kayo natatakot magkalat? Just be, diba, tapat mo, linis mo, luma na yan.
Doon tayo sa kapwa ko, mahal ko.
At
Kalat ko, mahal ko.
hindi kalat ko, linis ko, hindi ganon.
Yung linisin niya, yun sila.
Magkalat kayo sa Twitter, sa Reddit. Go! Walang pipigil sa inyo kasi you'll never know, baka mamaya pumutok na ang
Pimple nyo.
Pare na kanina, nung nasa kanina kasi namalengke ako eh.
Wow, I love it. So domesticated.
I know, darling. 6 a.m. gising na ako. So, namili ako ng tilapia at bangus.
Oh, wow.
Kasi I was craving for bangus. Bistek. Bistek
Okay.
bangus. So, sabi ko sa nanay ko, Ma, luto ka ng bistek bangus. Ito yung mga bangus belly. Girl, nakakita ko ng mga kwaderno. Kwaderno! Oh my God. First of all, kwaderno. The word kwaderno for you, what do you think?
It's giving love local. Like, I will not say notebook. I will say kwaderno.
Kwaderno. Para siyang tatay mo na 52.
Diba? Kwaderno, it's giving quadrangle na
Aha.
moderno, kwaderno.
Kwaderno.
Oh my God, alam mo ba, sa Science High School, alam mo ba yung JS prom namin?
Oh.
Was a school quadrangle. Mama Cemento.
It's giving DepEd funded.
Correct. It doesn't get any more local than this.
Oo. And it's giving the funds hindi umaabot.
So sa school quadrangle kami
Matanggal, no?
And
Tapos walang elected fan.
wala, girl. It was all delusion and what happened?
Tapos, pero ano naman, covered naman dear, di ba?
Hindi.
Ay, oh my God.
So, girl, pag
all
umulan,
out.
award malali yun kung umulan.
Oh my God, all out pala to.
Sunday all out.
Oo. Basking in the sun, ang atake.
Malali.
Na para bang si Terry Cruz, di ba yung sa White Chicks nakaganyan kasi.
Correct.
Tapos biglang gumanon si Terry Cruz, ay wala palang araw.
Ganon.
Oo.
Malala. So,
my gosh.
natibay ako noon. Pero mapunta tayo sa kwaderno. Notebooks.
Yeah.
Iconic notebooks, of course. The notebook ni Rachel McAdams.
Ah, yeah.
Diba?
Indeed, oo.
Ang notebook ng
Mga artista actually, yung mga
my God.
yeah, yung mga artista notebooks,
Yes.
diba? Of the 90s.
correct. Of course, makakalimutan ba natin ang iconic notebook ni John Lloyd Cruz as Harry Potter?
Oh my God, nasan ba yan?
Nasa John Lloyd Cruz as Harry Potter.
John Lloyd Cruz as Harry Potter.
Ganun siya, oh.
Nakaganyan siya.
Sabi niya, you still talk to your sister?
You still talk to your sister when Guardian NBI saw. Alright. Oh, next naman, ito si Bea. Bea Alonso.
Bea Alonso din. Yes, yung nakaputi siya.
Oo,
Na,
tapos
diba, yung top half mukha siyang marketing consultant. Tapos yung bottom half para siyang pupuntang Blue Magic.
Mare, meron pa yan, naalala ko yan si Bea Alonso. Meron din siyang parang green dito.
Aha.
Yung, ewan ko parang ano ba yan, time traveler device.
Si henna tattoo.
Tapos may kotse sa gilid and something.
Fairness, parang sa mga nag-conceptualize nun, it was giving postmodern and also maybe post-apocalyptic art.
Correct. Sino ang inspiration ninyo or ano ang inspiration ninyo? Bakit nyo naisip yan?
Lakas ng amats nyo and we are all better for
Oo.
it.
Kung ano mang ini-smoke nyo, i-share nyo sa amin.
Of course, andyan din, Sarah Geronimo. Meron
Yes.
tayong Sarah Geronimo notebook. Nakasama niya si Scooby-Doo. So, hindi ko alam kung na-license ba yun kay Hanna-Barbera or baka si Sarah Geronimo, si Hanna-Barbera.
Wait, ito ba yung notebook na may Scooby-Doo? Tapos parang may Dance Revolution na...
Sa taas.
Sa taas din may
niya.
dalawang...
Correct.
It's giving Jaboom twins.
It's giving Japan. Honestly,
Oo.
it's giving art direction principles. We don't like them. We will put everything here.
Correct. Art appreciation.
Art appreciation.
Ganon na ganon.
They put the attack in art attack.
Art attack indeed. Grabe, pero eto pag-usapan natin. Sige, kung naka-artista notebook ka at makita mo si John Lloyd, ano dapat ang subject for that?
Pag nakita mo si John Lloyd, obviously, dahil may pang-magic ang kailangan gawin, math. Kasi lagi kang nakikipagkopyahan sa math.
Oh my God, mathematics. Tama.
Merong ding Judy Anna notebook na naka-pink, parang yung pink.
Ay, oo, actually, fantasy yun
Fantasy yun.
Fantasy yung kay Ate Juday mo. Kasi, talagang parang ang dami yung photos dun eh.
Correct.
Na parang siguro sabi nung director, sige lahat, lagyan na natin lahat.
Oo, parang bukas na ba yung deadline? Hindi ako nang pumili, lagay nyo lang.
Oo, sige lagyan nyo na yan. Parang inay-ay.
So, apat lang yung daliri ni Juday.
And then meron din siya naaalala natin. Oh my God, do you remember the other Juday notebook? Yung naka-white siya.
Yes, kasi mama, nagle-levitate siya doon. It's giving Buddha, it's giving meditation, it's giving chakras, it is giving ascension.
Siya ang modern Buddha ng Philippine society.
Diba? Buddha and Santos.
Ang ganda nun!
Buddha and Santos.
Buddha and Santos. Diba?
Pero ang gusto ko
All
malaman, pag nagkaroon tayo ng i-modernize natin, i-update natin yung mga notebooks, sino ang mga modern icons dyan?
Feeling ko, una sa listahan ko, si Sophie Prime. Feeling ko si Sophie Prime, maganda siyang notebook.
So, ang ganda niya. Ang ganda ni Sophie Prime. Nakita ko yung mga stories niya. Meron siyang mga pinupuntahang events.
Mhm.
Naka-crop top siya.
Wow.
Like full glam, like soft drag fantasy. Like, I see the visual. Sophie Prime for Drag Race Philippines. As judge, as guest coach, as contestant.
Sir, maki-CR lang ko mo bayad ra ko sir B. Okay ra? Open na sa female.
Dari tadi ajikas.
Okay, sige.
Dari.
Magandang araw sa inyo, Sir Bob, at sa inyong mga tagapakinig. Tawagin na lang akong Laila, taga Cebu. Itong kwentong ibabahagi ko sa inyo ay tungkol sa aranasan namin ng kuya ko nung minsan sinundo niya ako sa dorm ko sa lungsod. Doon kasi ako nag-aaral ng kolehiyo. Naatira kami sa isang bayan sa Cebu at doon din nagtatrabaho itong kuya ko. Nagkataon lang na na-promote siya sa trabaho at binigyan ng kumpanya ng kotse. Binisita niya ako noon para makabanding at ilibre ako. Kinagabihan nga ay niyaya niya akong mag-road trip para naman daw mabawasan yung stress ko sa mga projects at thesis sa university na pinapasukan ko. Graduating na kasi ako noon kaya bihira na lang talagang makapagpahinga yung utak ko. Mga bandang alas 8 noon nang sinundo niya ako. Kumain muna kami bago na masyal. Puntahan daw namin ang isang resort doon sa Argao. Medyo malayo-layo din yun, pero sabi naman niya, pag alanganin na yung uwi namin, ay kukuha na lang kami ng room sa resort. Na-excite ako noon dahil parang one night escapade lang yung ginawa namin. Carefree, stress-free, at adventure din. Close kasi kami ni Kuya. Nagkukwentuhan pa kami noon na what if daw, sa madilim na kalsadang dadaanan namin, may bigla na lang pumara o di kaya ay humarang na babaeng nakaputi. Sinagot ko pa siya noon na kung maganda naman, ba't di mo pasakayin? Nagtawanan na lang kami. Nang biglang huminto yung kotse, namatay yung makina, sabay namatay din yung headlights. Napamura kami dahil tumiming talaga sa usapan namin. Napasabi pa nga ako na, ano ba yan? Kibago-bago, sira agad. Nagjo-joke lang talaga ako noon, pero kinakabahan din. Bumaba si Kuya para tingnan yung makina. Umuusok kasi, nag-overheat. Buti na lang at may dala kaming tubig. Binuhos niya doon at pinakalma muna yung makina. Lumabas na rin ako noon dahil nakaramdam ako ng init sa loob. Hindi naman masyadong madilim. May mga poste pa rin ng ilaw. Ang isang nagpakilabot lang sa akin ay nung igala ko yung paningin ko. Puro kakahuyan ang magkabilang daan, which is creepy dahil wala ni isang bahay. Aayain ko lang sana si Kuya na pumasok na lang ng kotse nang tinawag niya yung pansin ko. Nakikita mo ba yun? Tanong niya sa akin habang nakaturo sa may di kalayuan. Ang unang tingin ko ay apoy na parang nagmumula sa sulok. Yung kawayan na nilalagyan ng tela sa dulo sa inaapoyan. Pero walang tao. Dagdag pa niya. Inaninag ko yun ng mabuti. Wala pa akong nakikitang tao at medyo malikot yung apoy. Habang papalapit ito sa amin ay naguhugis bola na yon. Bilis at pumasok na raw kami. Natatarantang sabi ni Kuya. Kaya naman dali-dali kaming pumasok ng kotse. Pinagmasdan muna namin dahil baka nagkamali lang kami ng kita. Pero parang tumatalbog-talbog talaga yun sa ere, Sir Bob. Mahinang sinabi ni Kuya na San Telmo daw yun. Kinilabutan ako. May nakwento na kasi sa akin dati yung isang kaklase ko tungkol sa San Telmo. Nangahabol daw yun. Kaya grabe yung kaba ko habang papalapit yun sa amin. Sinabi ni Kuya na yumuko daw kami. Ginawa ko naman. Hindi ko alam kung ilang minuto kaming nakayuko noon nang dumaan yung San Telmo. Ang sabi pa ni Kuya ay nakita niyang huminto ito mismo sa may bintana ng kotse malapit sa akin. Nang lumagpas na ito ay nakita daw niya sa salamin na pumasok ito sa may kakahuyan at naglaho na. Nakahinga na rin kami ng maluwag pero hindi pa rin nawala yung takot nun. Himala ring umandar na yung kotse. Tigtas naman yung naging biyahe namin. Yun lang at minsan na nga lang kaming mag-road trip ay may naasalubong pa kaming San Telmo. Maliwanag na nang bumalik kami. Natakot na rin si kuya na baka muli na naman naming madaanan yon kapag bumalik kami sa dilim. Nagstay na lang muna kami sa resort at nagpaumaga. Sakto rin naman kasi na weekend at wala akong pasok kinabukasan. Kinalauna na lang namin nalaman na may pinatay daw pala doon mismo kung saan huminto yung sinasakyan namin. At ang sabi ng mga taga roon ay mukhang hindi pa natatahimik ang kaluluwa nito. Yun kayang santel mong nakita namin. Posibleng yun kaya yung kaluluwa niya na paggala-gala o may iba pang paliwanag sa nakita namin. Sa totoo lang, hindi ko alam kung ano ang ginagawa ng isang santelmo sa mga naaabutan o nakaharap niya. Pero isa lang ang masasabi ko. Sobrang natakot talaga ako nang makita yung apoy na lumulutang sa ere. Hanggang dito na lang, Sir Bob, ang kwento. Sana ay mapansin at mabasa nyo ito. Hello sa inyo, Sir Bob, at sa lahat ng mga sumusubaybay at naikit. Barbing barbu.
The couple are falling asleep to the ch noise of the train. It's almost hypnotic. This time, they had prioritized their comfort over being financially responsible. They booked the sleeper seats. Money well spent. I mean, their beds are tiny. They each get one right next to each other, but they're still out in the open. It's a 3-level bunk bed system. They have a row of people above them and a row of people below them. And their bunks are just out. Anyone passing through the aisle can see anybody that's on any of these bunk beds just falling asleep. But at least they can fully lay down and sleep the entire 11-hour ride back home. Gia, the wife, she shakes her husband awake. Husband Lee, L.I., slowly opens his eyes and he checks his phone. It's 1 a.m. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. Lee nods and he starts pulling the blanket off of him, but his wife stops him. Shh, it's okay. I'll be right back. She points down at the elderly people that are underneath them in the bunks below. I mean, if both of them, her and her husband, climb down from the middle bunk, there's a higher chance that the elderly couple are gonna wake up. And look at them. They look like they're deep in sleep right now. There's no point in disturbing any of that. It's okay. I have my phone. I'm gonna be right back. Lee, the husband, hesitates, but he just watches his wife climb down the bunk bed ladder and rushes off to the restroom. He glances out the window. It's pitch black outside. I mean, they must be crossing through a very rural area because there's no buildings, there's no light coming from outside the window at all. Just the noise of the train on the tracks. And then boom, the train shakes and Lee jumps awake. What was that? He must have fallen asleep and it must have been some sort of rock that hit the window or something. He rubs his eyes and he checks his phone. It's 1:30 a.m. He looks to his left, and his wife is no longer in her bunk bed. It has been 30 minutes since she went off to use the restroom. She should be back by now. His mind starts racing because that's weird, right? He quickly puts on his shoes, climbs down the bunk bed ladder, walks to the restroom in their carriage, because each train has a carriage, carriage 13. It's empty. She's not in there. His heart starts pacing faster, but it's fine. I mean, calm down. This makes sense. Sometimes if the restroom in the carriage that you're in is busy, you go to the carriage over. So he runs over to carriage 14 and he slams the bathroom door open. It's empty. She's not in there. He does this with carriage 15 and as many restrooms as he can before he feels this intense panic, this tightening in his chest. He runs all the way to the train conductor's cabin and he starts banging on the door. The conductor opens it up, 1:30 a.m. He looks confused, stressed. Please, you have to help me, sir. My wife is missing. The train conductor looks at the husband for what feels like multiple seconds because I think he's just processing what he just said. And then slowly, his lips just turn into a smile. And he's smiling at husband Lee. What do you mean your wife is missing? That's impossible, sir. Nobody goes missing on a moving train. like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Amputee Coalition of America. They have hundreds of support groups across the country, as well as thousands of certified peer visitors available through their National Limb Loss Resource Center. For decades, they've supported, educated, and advocated for people impacted by limb loss or limb difference with the reassurance that they are not alone. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we would also like to thank our listeners for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. Now, a few quick disclaimers before we begin. Today's case has a few graphic descriptions of physical violence, injuries, and amputations. So with that being said, let's get started. It doesn't matter if you want to stop. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. That is likely one of the very first things that all train conductors are taught. If you press the emergency brake right now, you will come to a complete full stop, probably from a mile from here. There is no immediate stopping a train. Imagine telling a swarm of 100 elephants to instantly stop running at full speed. It's not going to happen. And sometimes that means you watch disaster happen and know that there is absolutely nothing that you can do about it. That is the only thought going on in the train conductors' minds when they see a body on the middle of the tracks, wearing a thick winter coat, just laying there. Hurry, do something! They both know that there's nothing either of them can do. They pull the emergency brakes and stop a mile later. After 30 seconds, that's how long it takes to come to a complete stop. Hurry, somebody call the police, we gotta go! Everything is happening so fast but so slow at the same time. The way that the train hit and ran over the body in the winter coat was so quick and so subtle that they couldn't even visually see the body. It's likely they wouldn't even have noticed or felt it if they hadn't made eye contact. There was a train conductor who hit a cow once, a 1,000-pound plus cow, and they said it felt like when you're driving on the highway, a small bee hits your window, you kind of hear the sound, but you don't feel the whole car shake. It doesn't even dent your window. That's what it felt like. So of course, they didn't feel anything with the winter coat on the tracks. But now they're trying to head back as quickly as possible to check and see if everything is okay. Who is it? Why are they laying on the tracks in a giant puffy winter coat? What the hell is going on? They rush all the way back to this now blood-red soaked winter coat that looks completely mangled. And instead of a human, they see a deer. Dead. Someone had put a winter coat on a deer and laid it down on the tracks. This is the very strange life of a train conductor. You almost never know what to expect during your shift. It could be nothing, or it could be a nearly unsolvable mystery of, why would somebody do that? But train conductor Zhao knows that this is not one of those instances. I mean, the only mystery is how not very intelligent this passenger is. What do you mean your wife is missing? She's missing, sir. She was with you on the train, and now she's not? That's what missing means. She's missing. You have to help me find her. Train conductor Zhang pauses and lets out a smile because this is probably going to be the least exhausting task of the day. The first logical place to search is the dining cart. It's right at the center of the train, and when you step in, the first thing you notice is the smell, and then the sound. All of the rattling sounds of the silverware and cups as the train moves along. It's just what you imagine the place to be. There's rows of tables and chairs along each side of the carriage. It's like a breakfast restaurant that sells pancakes, the ones that have those sticky syrup dispensers, but maybe a little bit nicer. The tables are covered with white linens, glass windows on both sides, and you can just see everything blurring past you. It's about 2 a.m., but there's somebody leaned up against the window, reading a newspaper, drinking a cup of hot coffee. He looks over his newspaper at Lee and the conductor, and goes straight back to reading. This carriage is a relatively quick search. They check under each table, each deep red-colored booth, under them, under the ground, and as the conductor expected, no signs of Gia anywhere in the dining cart. She's probably in a restroom somewhere. Lee and the conductor, they start making their way over to the seating carriages. This train in particular has 18 carriages, 18 different compartments, if you will. 8 are for sitting and 8 are for sleeping. Those are excluding the dining carriage, storage carriages, the train conductor carriage. These are just the passenger areas. It's a big train. In total, the train can carry up to 1,500 people. They have a lot of square footage to cover during this search. They start with the hard seat carriages. Chinese seating carriages are typically split up into 3 different levels. The first is not even a seating carriage. You get to stand. For less than $1 for an 11-hour train ride, you have the joy of standing the entire trip. You can maybe sit on your luggage, you can maybe sit on the floor, or if you're lucky, you can maybe sit on somebody's seat when they go use the restroom for about 2 seconds. But otherwise, you're on your 2 feet the entire way. The carriage with people standing are going to be a hard search because they're packed with people. It's not much different from trying to swim through a sardine can. You can't see anything but the person in front of you. Excuse us, excuse me. Gia, are you in here? Say something, Gia. She's not. They get to the hard seat carriages. You might as well be sitting on an uncomfortable park bench or a plank of wood at 90 degrees. Sometimes the people with the hard seat tickets will get up to use the restroom, and when they get back, they see a stander sitting in their spot. Oh, sorry, I have a standing ticket, but Here, let me get up. It's okay. You can sit. The hard seats are so uncomfortable, they start thinking, maybe I should have gotten a standing ticket. How is standing more comfortable than sitting? They go row by row of the hard seat carriages. Most people are knocked out dead asleep, head leaning up against the stranger next to them. And they don't care, it's 2 a.m. They don't care about social etiquette. They just need to find a nice surface to lay their head down. The conductor is shining his bright flashlight at each of the faces. They're all squinting, using their arm to block the light. Hey, what are you... Sorry, my wife is missing. I'm looking for my wife. Gia? Then the two head over to the soft seat carriages. There are a bit less people in there. The seats are the ones that you would expect, cushiony, almost like an airplane seat. And as they're going through the aisles of the soft seating carriages, and the longer they can't find Gia, the more the train conductor and husband Lee feel confused. I mean, Gia's disappearance just doesn't even make sense. It's like a weird magic trick. You know how those magicians will make someone disappear on stage? There's no way it makes sense. People don't just disappear, but they're doing it on stage, so it really feels that way, doesn't it? If you just sit in the crowd, you turn your brain off, you have a really good time. The magician can do something that nobody else in the crowd can do. They can do magic. Poof, person here, person gone. But if you start thinking, if you really start thinking, where did they disappear to? You start getting some real answers, and it's never magic. Where the magician will put someone in a box, you can see that they barely fit in there. Box closes up. Magician starts stabbing swords into the box, and it makes you nervous that the person inside is getting stabbed. But then they take out the knives one by one, open the box back up, and the person is fine, unharmed. Usually, it's a false bottom. There's a hidden trapdoor, a compartment underneath them that they hide in, or maybe a trapdoor behind them. Because even now, the conductor knows nobody just disappears on a moving train. There is no such thing as magic. People don't just vanish without a trace. And as they're going carriage by carriage, the conductor is flashing the light into each row, each face to verify that none of them are the missing wife, Gia. Lee, the husband, is glued to his phone. You know what? The whole thing is a little suspicious. Why didn't Lee go to the restroom with his wife? It's 1 a.m. on a train. Wouldn't you want to make sure that your wife gets to the restroom safely? And even if he didn't escort his wife to the restroom, how could he just fall back asleep? He couldn't wait 5 minutes for his wife to get back before going back to snoring? He fell asleep and only woke up a full 30 minutes later when the train jerked to the side? Interesting. Because the train conductor knows people do not go missing from moving trains, it means that it's more likely a situation where somebody harmed the wife. And statistically speaking, it's always the husband, is it not? Okay, to be fair, it's not always the husband, but there's a good chance that it is. And would this not be the perfect place to commit the perfect crime? Wait till the train is passing a very difficult to search area, perhaps on the edge of a mountainside cliff. When the perfect opportunity comes, you kill your wife, throw her out the door, say she's missing, you've already gotten rid of her body, and any one of the 1,000 people on the train could be a suspect by the time that anyone realizes that your wife is truly missing, and this is an emergency situation. By that point, the train would be very far from her body. It would be such a puzzling mystery, and you would be the sad, confused husband who never gets closure. It's almost too perfect. Or if that's too risky, maybe he hid his wife's body. Perhaps the hiding locations on the train that come to mind first are the most dangerous ones. Underneath the train, or on top of the train, or maybe the storage carriage hiding amongst the cargo. But it would be nearly physically impossible for Lee to hide his wife's body in one of those areas. And now that the train conductor is looking at it, husband Lee does seem genuinely frantic to find his wife. He's been on his phone nonstop, calling her nonstop, trying to see if her phone would ring in any of the carriages. Gia, the wife, can hear her husband calling her phone nonstop. It's ringing again and again, and there's probably not even 2 seconds it hadn't been ringing in the past God knows how long. She knows it's her husband because she had set his ringtone to a custom one, and now it's just painful to listen to. Gia's laying there, not moving towards her phone. She knows it would mean a lot to her husband if she could just pick up the phone and tell him where she is, what happened, or maybe even why. Maybe he could get some semblance of closure in that way. But she's not gonna pick up the phone. Not yet, anyway. So he's just gonna have to wait, doesn't he? She can't come to the phone right now. The train conductor is looking at Lee, making nonstop phone calls to his wife, which maybe she can't come to the phone right now, and maybe she can't be found on this train because she was never on the train to begin with. Are we even sure that husband Lee got on the train with his wife? Her purse is conveniently missing because she took it with her, but maybe she never got on the train. That seems like a logical explanation to all of this, than vanishing on a moving train. I mean, think about it. There's over 1,000 people on this train right now. What are the odds that at least one of them has lost their minds? Maybe husband Lee just genuinely believes that she was on this train with him, that she boarded with him, but he's traveling alone. There was a movie called Flight Plan that came out a few years before this incident. Have you heard of the movie? It goes like this. A woman named Kyle, who happens to be an airline engineer, she boards a flight from Berlin to the US with her little daughter Julia. It is a very rough trip for the both of them. They flew to Berlin to claim Kyle's dead husband's body. Yeah, the husband died, he's mysteriously dead, and now they're bringing his body in the plane cargo all the way back home to the United States.
How old is the baby?
The girl in the movie is maybe 7 years old. The K2011 Express, the bunk bed carriages, the sleeper carriages if you will, have 6 beds per section. In each section, there are 3 rows of 2 small tiny beds facing each other. The top, the highest 2 beds, they have the least amount of space. If you try to sit up, you're not going to be able to without crouching your neck or slamming your head on the top of the train. It is the brightest, which is one of the biggest setbacks. Even when the train turns down the lights at night, you're going to get the most light pollution since you're at the top. However, it's great because it's secluded. Passengers say if you bring a book or you bring your phone with full battery, because there's not a lot of outlets up there, that's the best bunk. Nobody's gonna bother you and you're out of the line of sight by people who walk down the aisle. Nobody's that tall. Then you have the middle bunk. It probably comes shoulder height to people who are walking past in the open aisles. So if you're wearing a dress, you do best to cover it with a blanket. It's great if you're a scenery person. It's the only bunk with good views out the window. You can't really sit up still, but you can lay there and stare out the window if that's what you're into. It's a little less private than the very top bunk since everybody walking past is, again, eye level with your body, just about. But it's easier to get in and out of than the top bunk. Then you have the very bottom bunk. It's actually the most spacious of the 3 levels, and it even has like a small, nice table on the side that you can use. You can also fully sit up straight, so the choice to sit or lay down is fully yours. It's also relatively dark since it's covered by the top 2 bunks, which, why wouldn't everybody choose the bottom bunk then? More space, the choice to sit or lay down, it's dimly lit, you have table space. The main drawback is a lot of strangers on these trains will just sit on random people's bottom bunks to sit and chat with each other. They could even, if they wanted to, snatch your belongings. Or perhaps even you. Husband Lee and Gia are not at the bottom bunk. They're in the middle. But maybe somebody saw Gia laying in the bunk and started having very bad thoughts. Maybe they thought that they could do something to her. Maybe she was kidnapped by a stranger on the train for very sinister reasons. But if that's the case, where are they hiding her? Gia is laying there. The floor is cold, but she knows she can't move. She's tried. Even if she wants to, it's not working. It feels like she's tied down to a bed of steel nails. If she had known this was gonna happen, would she have still taken the same route back to her bunk bed from the restroom? Would she have even gone to the next carriage's restroom? Or would she have just waited in line to use the one closest to her? The one closest to her husband? I mean, if she did, would things be different? Probably. She probably wouldn't be in the situation right now. Everything would probably be different. And right now, nothing is going according to plan. But there's no time to think about that. She feels the blood dripping down the lower part of her body, and she starts screaming as loud as she can. Please, somebody help me. Someone help me, please. Honey. Husband Lee is slamming his fist on the bathroom door. He never had a chance to check this restroom for his wife. And now that he thinks about it, was this restroom locked since Gia first went missing? Everyone in carriage 11 is knocked out asleep, but Lee could not care less. He's banging on the door, screaming, Gia, are you in there? Gia, open up, please. It's me, Gia. Open the door. Are you in there? Lee has all sorts of probabilities running through his mind. Gia's not great with motion. Maybe she got motion sick and fainted in the restroom, and now nobody can help her unless they get this damn door open. He starts jiggling the handle of the door, trying to use brute force to get it to open, and it's not opening, and the train attendant walks over and starts unlocking the door for Lee. Maybe he could see the desperation in Lee's face. Is anybody in there? Please speak now. We're going to unlock the door. We will be opening the door now. Please knock if you're not ready. Before the attendant can unlock the door from the outside with a key, they hear someone is inside the restroom. They're unlocking the door. The door creaks open just a crack, and a middle-aged man, squeezes past the door and closes it behind him. As he walks away, he does not break eye contact with Lee. He just smirks as he zips up his pants. What the hell did he do something to his wife? Lee, his heart is beating out of his chest. He turns back to the bathroom door, slams it all the way open, and inside, on carriage 11, is a very normal bathroom. Gia is not there. 1,000 random strangers on the train. It's a numbers game. How many of them have bad intentions? Once the train is in motion, the passengers are isolated from the outside world. If there is a killer, if there is someone trying to do something nasty on board the train, you're stuck. You're trapped with them. And the scariest part is, you don't even know who that would be. Adding to the confusing mystery is to harm Gia, to get rid of her body from the moving train, or to hide her body so thoroughly that the train conductor cannot find her. It would require some preparations, some planning. This does not seem like it would be a very easy random crime to commit. She's not exactly a prime target either. She's a 44-year-old mother who is traveling with her husband, works as a manager for a toothpaste company. It's not like they're very wealthy and have a lot of money for ransom or a lot of things to be stolen from. She's beautiful, don't get me wrong. She does very well in her field, but she's not in a position where she's creating enemies. They live very normal, average lives. So if Gia is nowhere on the train, her husband didn't do this to her, likely a stranger didn't do this to her, maybe Gia did this to herself. Hypothetically speaking, if one wants to disappear and vanish without a trace so that nobody comes looking for them, a moving train would be a really good choice. If Gia were to vanish at work one day, everybody would be out in her hometown in the city searching for her. Neighboring cities would be on the lookout. Her case might even go viral on social media. But if she vanishes on a train, it would be such an unsolvable case that people would not be actively searching for her face in a sea of people out and about in everyday city life. They might look for her in the mountainside where she was last seen. And the steps to faking one's disappearance are very straightforward. They're pretty easy. It's uncomplicated. First step, don't get caught. Second step, don't forget the first step. It's not like it hasn't been done before. One of the most famous disappearances takes place on a train, and that is of Louis Le Prince, a French inventor. He actually created the theories being, if this man is so smart, he can create the first motion picture. Would he not be smart enough to fake his own disappearance? Maybe he waited for the train to slow down or took advantage of an unscheduled stop and slid away to start a new life. Maybe the pressure of constantly creating new inventions and living up to his previous accomplishments was getting to him. Perhaps he realized that this is not the life that he wanted for himself and he can't face his family to tell them all of that. So he faked his own disappearance. That is one of the theories. However, the most popular theory is that Louis Le Prince did not fake his own death. The most popular theory was that someone wanted Louis Le Prince's inventions and wanted to claim his patents as their own, so they killed him. They murdered him on the train and got rid of his body. Lee, the husband, starts losing his mind on the train. He's been running through the aisles of the carriages, screaming his wife's name. No care in the world if he's disturbing everybody. He just needs to find his wife. He feels like this is some sort of sick joke. How can she just vanish? He's analyzing every single person's face. Does that person look guilty? Is that my wife? Does that person look like they've just stuffed someone into their luggage? His brain is so busy hunting down his wife, it feels like the rest of his body is going into autopilot mode. He's running down the aisles. Left hand, press call. Phone up to ear. Ring, ring, ring. You have reached the voicemail. Left hand, press call. Phone up to ear. Ring, ring, ring. You have reached the voicemail of. Left hand, press call. Phone up to ear. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Lee freezes. He looks down at his phone. It's the correct number. It's his wife's number. And a man has just picked up the phone. Hello? Where? Sir, your wife is at the hospital. Please come meet her. He had never heard someone scream like, away! Somebody needs to help me, please! The pain Gia has been going through has been so overwhelming, all-consuming, that Gia has not been able to sleep, eat. She can't even distract herself. All day, all night, all she does is scream until she exhausts herself and her throat is on fire. The screams from inside the room keep getting louder. Husband Lee knows he needs to go in there. So he quickly takes a deep breath, wipes his tears on the back of his hand, clears his nose, straightens out his back, puts on a smile, opens the door, and walks in. Every day, multiple times a day, this is what he does. He walks in there, sits on the edge of the hospital bed, and he puts his hand near his wife. He doesn't touch her, but he gets close. Shh, honey, it's okay, it's okay. I know you feel a lot of pain in your left leg, but you have to remember what the doctor said. It's in your head, honey. Tell yourself the pain is not real. Because you don't have a left leg anymore. She looks down, and her left leg, her left arm, and her right foot are all gone. Severed. Gia has lost 3 limbs, but she can still feel all of them. It's called phantom limb pain. It's when an individual perceives feeling, and a lot of the times painful feelings in a limb that are no longer there. The limb doesn't exist anymore, but the brain thinks it's still there. The nervous system sends out receptors and gets confused because they're not being relayed properly, which eventually translates into the sufferer feeling pain. In essence, the nerves in your spinal cord that lead to the brain still exist from that limb that's been severed. Your brain senses something is wrong because those nerves stop sending signals, and that triggers a pain response, which is usually the body's default response when they feel like something is wrong. They force you to feel pain to alert you, hey, something's not right here. The brain is a very powerful organ. Think of it like this. You have a best friend that you have spoken to every single day of your entire life, every second of every day. You've spent every single waking moment with them, and then one day they suddenly ghost you. But your brain cannot comprehend or remember a time where you've been without them and you're confused. How could they just be gone? Nothing makes sense. You have no closure. You're bound to feel some sort of pain and confusion for a very long time. This is so much worse. One netizen said, I had an amputation right below the knee. I experienced phantom pain. It starts like someone has a lighter under the sole of my foot that is no longer there. It heats up. I can feel my foot on fire, but the foot is no longer there. And then bam, like someone slams a giant spike through my non-existent foot, just stabbing it, piercing it all the way through, and that pain slowly shoots up my leg all the way up. It has to be a person though, right? We had no clue. The investigator said it was difficult to even tell if it was a person actually. It was just a pile of blood and limbs, like a bloody blob. But it had to be. Logically, it made sense, but their brains would not let them comprehend it, or rather comprehend who they're looking at. They look down at the ground, there's blood and body parts scattered like a human puzzle. The person they're staring at basically only has half their body left. And they're thinking, what the hell happened to this poor woman? Who did this to her? There's something called melanoheliophobia. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it is the fear of black holes, like the ones in space. The fear of objects with such extreme mass and gravity that it consumes even light itself. Just visually speaking, people say that looking into a black hole, even just the photos, right, because that's all we have, is terrifying. To know that once you get sucked into the black hole, you become spaghetti. Spaghettification, that's what they say. You fall into a black hole, it compresses your body down from the top to the toe and then stretches you at the same time, and it turns you into literal human spaghetti. That's probably why a lot of people have a intense fear, intense emotions when they stare into a black hole. And the investigators for the train company are huddled together in a circle, bent over, staring straight into the black hole. Impossible. I mean, how can such a I mean, I can't even believe it. In the middle of carriage 14, there is a black hole. Well, okay, not really. You know those trash cans where you press down and the sides will push down, letting you throw the garbage in with your hand? Unless someone steps on this particular spot of the carriage, the floor, the hole does not open up. It's almost like a false bottom, a magic trick. And they've taken off the compartment doors, and there is a hole, a gaping hole on the floor of carriage 14. On Gia's way back from the restroom that night, she made sure to keep both feet planted on the ground. Just normal train etiquette, common sense, just in case the train makes a sharp turn that she's not going to end up in somebody else's bunk. But as she's walking back through carriage 14, ready to walk back into carriage 13 where her husband is, the floor underneath her just disappears. A tile of the floor swings open briefly, opening up, and in the blink of an eye, sucks her down into a black hole. She drops down onto the railroad tracks, and she is swallowed by the bottom of the train. Instantly for Gia, everything goes black, and then the pain hits. She can almost feel each wheel going through her body. These are pulled from her court statements. They're just running over her. She said the pain is so intense that she cannot stop screaming, but nobody can hear a thing. She can't even hear her own screams. The train's roaring and the friction sound of the wheels in the railroad track are so loud, it's deafening. Then she loses consciousness. Gia would be run over by 20 train carriages going at 40 miles per hour. By the time that the train she was on had sped off, she looked like she had been chewed up and then spit out. When she woke back up, she was somehow somewhat alive. She said that she just laid there, staring up at the night sky. There wasn't a single star up in there. Everything was pitch black, and Gia was left for dead. If someone on the train had seen her walking down the aisle 1 second, gone the next, they might have thought it's like one of those magic tricks with a trapdoor, a false bottom. And people say, when things are in motion, they stay in motion. To give you some context, when things in motion are moving, they have more force than things that are still. If you calmly walk up to a ball, a basketball, and it's stationary sitting on a table and you bump your head against it, it's likely going to be unpleasant. It's not going to kill you. You probably won't even have a bump on your head. Now, if that same ball is thrown off the penthouse unit of a 98th floor apartment and it hits you on the head, you might be hospitalized. Things in motion have a lot of force. The train that Lee and Gia were on weighs 2,000 tons, about the weight of 200 giant elephants. But now it's going 45 miles per hour and ramming straight into Gia. The impact of the injury something like that would cause, it's more comparable to 3,100 elephants running over her. I don't even think our brains can really comprehend what kind of injuries that would cause. Gia is laying there for a moment. It's almost peaceful. I mean, not painless, but it's kind of peaceful until the realization hits her. If she does not move soon, another train is going to come down and completely rip the rest of her body apart, leaving her truly like a puzzle, waiting to be put back together by coroners. And that's if they even find her. Who knows? Maybe the animals will get to her first. She's on the tracks, and the objective, at least in theory, is quite simple. Move her body off the tracks, to the side. She's not even thinking about getting to help or getting to the nearest town. Just get off the tracks. That's all she's thinking about. She said, if I do not leave the tracks as soon as possible, I will be shattered. But when she goes to move, there's this really strange sensation. She tries to move her left arm, but it's like her arm does not belong to her. It does not listen. It does not move. It does not budge. It's weird. She's straining so hard to move that arm, she can feel the veins in her head bulging, throbbing, but nothing. Nothing is moving. All she can do is sit on the cold railroad tracks that are digging into her back and smell that awful metallic scent. At first, she thought that metallic scent was likely the rusted railroad tracks, but she realizes soon enough it's the scent of her blood. She uses all of her strength to lift her head up by her neck, and she looks down at the state of her body. Her left arm is almost completely detached. Her left thigh is gone. Her right hand, the only hand she has left, is full of sticky liquid. Blood. The thought to just let it be is the first thing on her mind. What's done is done. Look at her. She can't even put herself back together. There's no way she's gonna survive. That's what she's thinking. But then she keeps seeing images pass by of her husband, of her son, and the decision feels very logical. She said, my son cannot live without a mother. My husband cannot live without a wife. My aging mother and my only sister, they'd be so sad. So I cannot die. Gia laid there, repeating in her mind over and over again, son, mommy's gonna come home to you. Mommy's gonna come home to you. Mommy's gonna get off the railroad tracks. She uses her only good working hand, her right hand, the one that's almost been obliterated. She uses it to grip on one side of the railroad tracks, and she's trying to use it to pull her body over to the side. Maybe she can roll her body. She grabs it, ignoring the excruciating pain going up her hand, and with every ounce of everything left in her body, strength, adrenaline, love for her son, she pulls as hard as she can and moves to the side less than an inch. And then she knocks out again. The amount of pain in her body combined with the amount of blood she's losing every second, she has no energy. She's very weak. When she wakes up, she tries to move her body again and falls again. All she can hear is the song playing in her head over and over, "Love You 10,000 Years." That's her song with her husband. And it's not like she's having her life flash before her eyes. I mean, she is. But the song is actually playing while she's struggling to move. It's the custom ringtone that she set for her husband. "I love you 10,000 years. But she can't reach her phone, it's too far. So she uses this song to try and motivate her to move upwards. Maybe if she can grab the purse that's just inches away, maybe if she could just get off this railroad track, she can tell her husband what happened and he can come save her. So that's what she does for the next half hour or so. Or at least that's what she said it felt like. She lays there until she finally has enough energy to try and move again. This time she musters up truly everything in her system, and she knows either one more try or she dies. There's no other option. She starts inching closer and closer, 1 centimeter at a time, every few minutes, breathing, exhausted from the pain. And after what feels like an eternity, she manages to make it to the other side of the tracks. She hauls her body over, one last push, and she lands right next to the tracks. Her face is resting on the edge. Her whole body feels sticky with oil, like if somebody were to grab her and try to help her up, their hands would just slip off, like somebody oiled down her whole body. But it's a combination of her sweat and blood. She opens her mouth to let out a big breath of air, and she feels the pain deep in her teeth because she realizes that she had essentially burned her lips off from grinding her face against the railroad tracks. She's about to fall asleep again, but she realizes her face, that feels numb at this point, is resting on the railroad tracks. The thought is very clear in her mind. Her head is going to be cut in half. She will die now, but she feels no motivation to move it, at least not yet. Her body's starting to give up. She no longer has adrenaline. She knows what's going to happen to her, but she almost feels like, why not just let it? Because of how tired she is. She's never felt pure exhaustion until now. After laying there, she decides she has to try, and she musters up every last bit of strength and moves her face off the track, just inches away. But at least this time, her face won't be sliced in half. By now, she's in a trance until she feels a vibration. Her whole body starts vibrating and there's a loud roaring sound. She opens up an eye and sees the train heading straight towards her. She said in that moment, "Perhaps my determination touched the heavens. I heard the train. I was bursting with joy. This was the only hope for salvation, and I must not give up." I quickly thought how to let the train driver know that I was there, that I was a living, injured person. I knew what I had to do. So I waited nervously, waiting for the light. And the light comes, shines over her whole body, and she said, "I put all my strength I had into lifting my head up as high as I could so that the train engineer, the driver of the train, could see me. And I waited until the lights passed all the way through my body, and then I lost consciousness again." She does get the attention of the train crew. They pull the emergency brake, stop a mile away, run. They run to her side and call the police to come save her. The police initially did not know how to even help her. They didn't even have a stretcher to bring her to the car. So they did what they could. They ripped a door off from their police station, literally ripped it from the hinges, ran back to Gia and used that as a stretcher. They gently placed her on, placed all of her severed limbs onto the door frame and started running as fast as they could to their cars and eventually drove her to the hospital. They didn't know if she was gonna make it. Looking at her on the door frame, barely conscious, the odds are not in her favor. NASA did a study forcing test subjects to lie in a bed for 3 months at a time. Well, not forcing, but have them lay in a bed for 3 months so that they could learn about bone and muscle atrophy in space. And by the end of the 90 days, most healthy participants could not walk. They had to be slowly lifted vertically, and even sitting up, the blood pressure cuffs hanging off their arms, they had to lay back down. Even just sitting at 90 degrees was too much. They started sweating. It felt like they were gonna faint, even though they're just sitting, they're not even walking. But that's just after 90 days. 190 days. And she was fighting, actively dying. She was not even a healthy participant in a NASA study. The entire time, her body is failing. Gia said, "My right arm is in a thick cast because it required surgery. I was like a mummy, laying straight on the hospital bed, half of my body gone. I couldn't move. I slept in one sleeping position all night, all day." She continued, "I think normal people can't do that even for one night, laying in the same position nonstop, unable to even move an inch. I was lying in that position, the same position, for more than 2 months. I couldn't move at all." She had a bed sore mattress at the hospital, which is like an air mattress where air pumps into one section of the bed at a time. So it feels like you're constantly in the ocean. Your whole body is slightly going through wave-like stimulations. It helps relieve pressure on just the same part of your body, which prevents bed sores. But every wave, every air compression made Gia scream in agony. She said it felt like after being run over 20 carriages of an industrial train. It was painful, but it was nothing compared to this, the recovery. Even her right hand, her only hand that she had left, it was skinned raw. They had major injuries. She couldn't touch a single thing. Every time the nurses came in to take care of Gia and replace her bandages, she said she was in so much pain. Even the breathing on her skin would make her scream. This raw, hoarse, guttural scream would escape her body, and the nurses would be terrified of Gia. They didn't even want to make eye contact with her. Gia said that's how everybody was. Everybody was terrified of her. Nobody wanted to make eye contact with her. And the list of injuries, I think if we were to go in depth, we would spend 40 minutes here. In summary, her left arm was completely gone. Her left leg by the hip bone had been completely gone. Her right arm, her only remaining arm, almost had to be amputated. They had to save it because her shoulder was shattered in so many places. Her right leg was amputated below the knee. She had injuries to her head. In one part of her head, her scalp was essentially peeled off and her skull was exposed. She lost an alarming amount of blood. She lost almost half of the blood in her body. Her heart was beating 29 beats per minute, which is nothing. She was barely alive. There were contusions on her left kidney, major head injuries, abrasions all over her body. Those are just some of the major injuries. There were thousands of minor injuries all listed, making her medical chart one of the longer ones that the doctors had ever seen at the local hospital. Every day, the doctors had to go in there and cut dead flesh off of her. Flesh that had turned completely black, and some parts were even starting to have maggots crawling about. Every day, they would cut it off with a pair of scissors. Gia felt like she had already lost so much of herself. And there they are, taking more bits and pieces of her every single day. Which, speaking of, at one point, she needed a skin graft, but the only healthy or somewhat healthy skin she had left on her entire body was her right thigh. So they took the skin off of that. Obviously, they did this for Gia. It was what her body needed. But just the psychological meaning was not lost. Gia was ripped apart again. Gia said that she would look in the mirror and feel so detached from the person staring back at her. Her whole body was swollen. There were cuts and bandages all over. Only her eyes were peeking out from the blood-stained white bandages wrapped around her face like a mummy. She said that she couldn't bear to even look at herself. She said, and I quote, "When I looked in the mirror, I saw a monster." And even if that's how Gia felt in that moment, she obviously is not a monster. She's a survivor. The real monsters that people believe are the train company, the one that operated the train that she was on when this whole incident took place. Truly, at first, nobody even believed that Gia had fallen through a hole on the train floor. There must be some sort of misunderstanding. Maybe she fell off the train door. In the connecting part of the carriages, maybe the door was open a little bit and she fell through, or maybe she leaned up against the door because she lost her balance, it swung open and she fell out. When the investigators first arrived at the train tracks, the police, Gia had already lost a ton of blood and was on the verge of death. But she told them, "I fell through the center aisle of the train carriage, through the floor." What? How is that possible? Look, please look. I had to get off the railroad tracks myself. If you look, my hands and legs, they're in the middle of the railroad tracks. I didn't cut them off myself and throw them there. Please, you have to pay attention to the scene. Remember everything. My body parts that are separated. are laying in the middle of the railroad tracks, and I'm laying on the side of the tracks. Please, you have to protect the crime scene so that you can testify for me later. Please. Eventually, Gia would file a lawsuit against the train company, and they tried to brush it off. They stated during the pre-departure inspections, the conductor and the train team did routine checks of the entire train, front to back, back to front, center, everywhere. There was nothing amiss, so it must not be their fault. But something's not adding up. Again, the hole technically had a trapdoor mechanism, where essentially nobody would know that there's a hole there unless they stepped on that very specific spot in the carriage. So when Gia's husband is looking for her, there's no hole. There's no hole until someone steps on it. But what would be the purpose of installing a trap door like that on the middle of a carriage floor? There would be no sense. Why would they do that? Why would the train company even do something like that? Well, they didn't intentionally do it. The train company basically took an old green train and refurbished it on the inside. They kept most of the original body, just ripped out all the insides and kept the outside structure. This specific train itself was a rainbow train. It was green, pink, yellow. All the carriages were different colors because they were pieced together from random old trains that they had picked out and strung them along. And for that reason, the company had to install air conditioning onto the carriages that did not have an AC system. They installed it, and the only problem was they needed to sometimes test a portion underneath the train to troubleshoot the AC. But instead of running wires out the window, out the door of the train, they thought, let's just create a hole at the bottom of the train that leads directly to the port that we need to access for the AC, and then cover it with a bolted system that nobody can fall through. It just makes the most sense. It was supposed to have a port cover that was foolproof, but clearly it was moved. It was tilted to the side, so anytime you stepped on it, it would just open up. So clearly it was not working. And I don't think that there's any way to look at this and not believe that this is the train company's fault. I don't think anyone would even argue that. Imagine being on a plane and the floor just gives out and you fall from the sky. How could someone argue that it's not the airline or the plane manufacturer's fault? In the lawsuit, Gia filed for compensation, $1.5 million, which is nothing. I don't think anyone would go through what she went through for $1.5 million. The mental, emotional, physical trauma, the loss of future income. The compensation was supposed to cover medical expenses, disability compensation, employment of caregivers, prosthetics costs, nutritional costs, food subsidies, changing of disability-friendly housing, rehabilitation care, nursing costs, transportation costs, therapy costs, and compensation for moral damages. The railroad company said, your ask is ridiculous. It is unreasonable. The compensation you're asking for is sky high. It's never been done before. Even when Gia came into the courtroom in a wheelchair, she showed the court the parts of her body where her limbs were severed off. And it's like nobody wanted to look at her. They couldn't even make eye contact with her. The air just felt frozen. In the end, the court rejected Gia's request for $1.5 million in compensation. At first, they awarded her just $110,000. They later amended that and gave her $190,000. And to add insult to injury, the train company's motto is, the greatest enemy of accidents is a sense of responsibility. Yet they refused to be responsible for what they did. Nearly $200,000. That's it. That's all Gia got. She said physically, she felt as if for months in recovery, almost at least fully a year really, she felt like she was being tortured non-stop, like the ancient times. Those types of torture tactics, that's what she felt. That's just the physical. Psychologically, the damage was immeasurable. Both Gia and her husband Lee, they had a very hard time adjusting afterwards, which is completely understandable. Their lives changed overnight. The abruptness is what they really struggled with. Lee said he just couldn't understand how his wife had been so healthy a few hours ago, and now she's not. Now she can't brush her hair, get dressed. She can't even support the weight of her own body. She can't use the restroom when she wants. Do you know how frustrating that is? She said, my life has changed drastically. I cannot take care of my own life. I have to ask for help for everything. I have no way of getting up, lying down by myself, going to the toilet by myself, washing my face, brushing my teeth, taking a bath by myself, eating by myself. If someone leaves a cup of milk on the dining room table for me, just a little further away from where I sit, if I put out my hand and try to grab that glass of milk, and I want to grab it and drag it in front of me, But if I don't lift my hand well enough, or if my hand grip is not strong enough, or if I can't drag it towards me, then the glass of milk will tip over and the milk will spill on the table, on my wheelchair, onto my pants, and flow onto the floor, and I can't even clean it up. If I want to read a book, but the book is placed on my bedside out of reach, I cannot read. Piece after piece, failure after failure, I have incomparable frustration. I stay in the house all day long. More than 9 months straight, I did not get a day of sunshine. For more than 9 months straight, I lived in a contained area less than 300 square feet. I feel like a prisoner in a cage without a cage. I thought of self-exiting, but I couldn't even physically do it. After 190 days of being in the hospital, Gia was discharged, but she would still need to go through extensive rehabilitation to adjust to her new life, to adjust to her prosthetics, which, by the way, when she went to the prosthetic center in Shanghai, they didn't even know how to help her. They had never seen this level of injuries. But she didn't give up. She said, I left home standing up. I must go home standing up. I must appear in front of my family standing up. Which makes it sound like this case is going to have a happy ending, but she would not be able to stand up. She would not walk through the front door of her home, and she said she does try her best to overcome the cards that she's dealt, but she's not happy. There were articles posted about how she's finding happiness and overcoming all of life's challenges, ready to take on whatever's thrown at her, but it doesn't really seem like that's true. It just gets clicks. But the truth is, Gia said, I have a mixture of happiness and sadness. I'm happy that I get to see my son again, but I'm sad that my home is still the same, but I'm not the same. She needs a large number of sleeping pills to fall asleep every night, and she said that lively and cheerful Gia that was once there before the accident is replaced by an irritable, emotionally violent Gia. The likelihood that she's going to develop traumatic arthritis in her one remaining arm left is very high. Her right shoulder has been practically obliterated, that the doctors had to piece it together like a puzzle, and because nobody in Gia's personal life could relate to what she had gone through, they didn't even know how to help her. So one day, her sister, Gia's sister, laid down on the train tracks, and she waited to be run over. She said she just wanted to understand what Gia had gone through because she was going crazy not being able to help. Everything she thought was helping wasn't helping. Thankfully, there were no trains on that track that day, but that just goes to show how desperate everybody was. And I wish I could leave you with something happier, but sometimes life doesn't really have happy endings, and that kind of seems to be the case here, at least as of right now. I do hope that Gia is able to find happiness eventually, but that is where the story is right now. Unknown caller. Thoughts? Let me know down in the comments, and please stay safe. I will see you guys in the next one.
being exposed to a new audience and having its former audience reminded of everything that happened on the show and everything that happened to the former contestants. Over the last decade, especially the last several years, former contestants have spoken about how they were treated both in the photo shoots and in the house, and about things that we saw on camera, and about how they were treated behind the scenes and their interactions with many of the judges and producers, and especially about Tyra Banks. And the vast majority of them didn't have the best things to say. Due to the popularity of America's Next Top Model and how popular it currently is to re-examine the show, bringing it back into the spotlight, Netflix has decided to create a documentary series about it. Netflix has become fairly well known for creating these entertainment documentaries, and while there are a lot of decent ones that try to stay unbiased, try to present the viewer as much information as possible, and also be digestible to the average viewer, a lot of which will be on their phones, and also keep the whole thing entertaining. But then on the other side, they do also have quote-unquote documentaries that are being produced by people who were highly involved with the original project or series that they're covering. Examples of this would be the Firefest documentary that came out several years ago on Netflix.
Bakit
It was
na-feel
a-
mo na bakit kailangan lumayo ka talaga?
It was a very impulsive decision. Hindi ko lang talaga alam kung ano yung gagawin. Parang I'm in so much pain and I just want the pain to stop. So I left the country, I left my family, I left my boyfriend, now ex.
So you went to US?
Yes, for 3 months. And imagine mo, sa 3 months na yun, marami pong nawala sa akin because I was losing, work opportunities. Pero nire-remind ko yung sarili ko na it's better to lose those opportunities than to lose myself.
Super thankful ako, number one, dahil yung guest natin sa From the Heart traveled all the way from Laguna just
Yes.
to be with me today. Super
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, thank you. First of all, gusto kong magpasalamat sa lahat ng team behind this show at sa'yo din. I'm a fan. Kinikilig
Aw,
talaga ako.
Thank you.
I'm always updated sa mga posts mo. Kakakwentuhan nga lang natin off-cam. And I'm just
Yeah.
happy to be here and to share my story and my journey with my mental health.
Ako super happy talaga kasi when I messaged you, kaya medyo ganun yung tone ng message ko kasi sabi ko if okay na i-share
Yes.
via, baka pwede kita makausap. Kasi kung hindi, maintindihan ko yon. Una muna, how are you now?
Me now, actually, before ako mag-travel, I was having a panic attack. I'm gonna be honest about it. Pero the good thing about me naman is that alam ko na kung anong gagawin ko pag na-experience ko siya. I took a medication, pero hindi ako nag-drive agad kasi yung medication ko for the panic attack. Sometimes may konting hilo factor pa siya, so kailangan ko siya munang pakiramdaman. Of course, when you're driving, kailangan alert ka talaga. Good thing naman na nakarating tayo dito ng ligtas.
So, you mean to say bago ka magpunta dito, nagka-panic attack ka?
Yes. And it happens, hindi ko siya nakokontrol.
Oo.
Hindi ko din alam minsan, wala din siyang trigger for some weird reason. Kasi every time I would have my attack, I would ask myself, ano ba yung pinanggalingan ko? Bakit ito? Sometimes sumusulpot lang siya out of nowhere. But the thing with my attacks, physical talaga siya, like palpitation, nag-shake talaga yung hands ko. And na-experience ko na to ever since dati pa.
Way before pa.
Way before.
Pageant days mo.
Before pa. At during the time, hindi ko pa siya maintindihan. Akala ko I would always have this parang notion na OA. Kasi parang nanginginig talaga ako. Way back in college pa to. Pag may exam, nasusuka-suka ako. Hindi ako makahinga. So ngayon naintindihan ko na siya na those were panic attacks pala. Anxiety attacks.
Okay, you just shared publicly, ang diagnosis sa'yo is depression and anxious distress. Gusto ko ito maintindihan. Kapag sinabi na depression and anxious distress, ano ibig sabihin nun?
Technically, magkaiba kasi silang condition.
Okay.
Pag may anxiety attack ako, dun yung body ko, it's under distress. Parang dun ko nararamdaman na yung mga signs and symptoms ko, headache, para akong nasusuka, hindi ako makahinga, palpitation, tumataas yung heart rate ko, Tapos nagsishake yung hands ko. Tapos syempre, yung thought process ko, wala talagang mental clarity during the panic attack. Pero usually it would last. Matagal na siguro yung mga 20 minutes, yung peak niya talaga, na ma-manage ko na din siya. Well, yung depression naman, it's also a different story. Yung depression, siya yung parang yung mood ko napakababa niya. I would wake up in one morning na parang wala kang motivation to do something. Hinahalungkay ko yung utak ko. Ano ba yung purpose ko? Tapos parang wala akong nagagawa. At nagugulat na lang ako na I would spend 3 to 4 hours na nakatingin lang ako sa ceiling, nakatingin lang ako sa kung anong bagay na hindi ko na notice yung oras. So, very unproductive siya na parang wala talaga akong purpose.
Wala kang gana.
Walang gana.
That's the difference ng anxiety and depression based from
My
your doctor.
experience.
And yung
Yes.
doctor mo rin yung nagsabi sa'yo. Nagpa-check ka last year? Kung
Last year, 2025, ako na-diagnosed clinically.
Okay.
But I've been experiencing this one 2020
Pandemic
na-hospital ako, and then yung diagnosis pa lang sa akin is generalized anxiety disorder. Kasi parang I had a panic attack and then dinala ako sa St. Luke's. Pero marami ding factors kasi noon kasi galing din ako nun sa parang inuman. So, hindi talaga ako masyado din nag-focus sa mental health ko during that time. So, inisip ko lang na probably hangover lang to, wala lang to.
Hindi mo
This is
inisip
nothing.
na
This
may
is-
mental health
yes.
condition ka. Last year, anong nag-trigger para pumunta ka na mismo sa doktor? Bakit ka nag-decide na kailangan ko na ipa-check to?
Kasi nanonotice ko sa sarili ko, this is a very sensitive topic, but I'm so happy na I was able to overcome that phase. I would do self-harm. But it's in a different form. Like, since nagpa-panic attack ako, gusto ko lang mabaling yung pain sa ibang areas ng body ko. So, I would punch myself. Minsan, tinatry ko na, never naman na life-threatening talaga, pero I would try to really cause pain somewhere sa ibang parts ng body ko. At nanonotice ko, I feel better. So, natatakot ako, bakit ko siya ginagawa. Like, I would literally punch myself. Tapos, I would have bruises. Nung nakita yun ng mom ko, and nag-ask siya kung ano yung nangyayari sa akin, doon na po ako natakot. Kasi am I normal? What's happening in my head? I don't think anybody do understand me. Nawawala na ba ako sa sarili ko? Kasi ito na ba yung papunta na ba to sa, sensitive topic ulit, suicide? I'm so scared, and I also had history of pill popping. But, nanonotice ko, after ko gagawin yun, matatakot ako, maaalala ko agad yung mga mahal ko sa buhay. I had attempts in the past. But I'm so grateful na it wasn't successful, and I'm so grateful na nagkaroon ako ng acknowledgement na something is wrong and I need help.
Okay, what month was this? And then meron bang trigger? I mean, napagod ka ba sa work? Meron bang like, may tao ba na nag-cause nun kung ba't ganun yung na-feel mo that day? Na parang na-anxiety ka ulit, na-depress ka?
Dadalhin ko po kayo ulit sa year 2021. It was when I won Miss Universe Philippines and I did represent the country. It wasn't a perfect journey, and it was also so frustrating for me that I didn't win. So I also felt na every day when I wake up, I'm a failure to my country. And millions of Filipinos did see me fail. And for somebody who's very competitive, who always wants to excel, simula ng bata ako, it's so frustrating na, especially when you're gonna look at the social media, na minsan hindi mo naman talaga sinasadya. And some of these people, familiar sa'yo, you've worked with them, kilala mo sila, they have names, and syempre mapapa-comment sila about your performance, about how you look, then issue after issue after issue. So, feeling ko hindi ko talaga nahawakan, hindi ko na-manage yung fame because it happened overnight. And it was so quick na I became a public figure. And even yung personal life ko, like my breakup with my first boyfriend, nasa national news siya, binabalita siya, and it's really a free country, so people do have their own opinions, and sometimes you can't defend yourself. Kasi yung sinasabi palagi ng management ko, kill them with kindness, just be quiet about it, huwag ka na lang magbasa, but somehow, parang your inner child is screaming for you to stand up for yourself, diba? Pero minsan wala ka na lang talagang magagawa, and you just have to accept it. So I think nanggaling talaga din siya sa mga frustration ko sa buhay because I've always wanted to have control in everything. So pag nagfe-fail ako sa isang bagay, dun siya lumalabas.
Oo. During that time na sinasabi mo na hindi ka nanalo sa Miss Universe and then yung mga social media comments about you, sama pa natin yung pati yung nawindang ka na ganito pala yung fame,
Yes,
na
yes.
open na sa publiko yung buhay mo. Malaking factor kung bakit ka nagkaroon ng panic attacks, depression and anxiety is
Yes.
because of the
fame.
comment
Yes,
of
yes,
the public.
yeah. Being a public figure. But I know that I already have a tendency
Yeah.
way back in college kasi
Bago pa, yung
bago pa.
pageant
Yeah,
days.
pero
Oo.
syempre I would say minimized yung reaction, yung symptoms, hindi masyado, pero meron na siya.
Nung nalaman mo, finally na-diagnose ka with this mental health condition, anong na-feel mo? Ano ba? Parang, okay, mas relieved ako, alam ko na may pinagdadaanan ako, or natakot ka na meron ka nito? What did you feel?
I feel relieved
Okay.
kasi I've always known na baka depression na siya. Kasi yung course ko in college is a medical course, physical therapy.
What's your, okay.
So I already
Oo.
have a background about psychology, psychiatry, kasi naging topic and subject din namin ng college. So nung na-diagnose ako, I even asked them, my doctor, sure ka ba na depression lang? Hindi ba? Syempre, ang dami mong alam, di ba?
Yeah,
Hindi ba
yeah.
bipolar ako?
Oo,
Hindi ba?
oo.
Kasi feeling ko may manic depressive side ako na minsan tuwang-tuwa ako, then babagsak na
Bigla
naman
ka malulungkot.
yung mood ko. And syempre, yung nakaka-absorb nito, Ate Cha, are the people that I love the most, that I surround myself with.
Yeah. Your family.
Yes.
The one closest to you.
Kahit hindi ko sinasadya, nasasaktan ko sila. Kasi hindi ko ma-express.
So, nagbabago yung mood mo minsan?
Yes.
Like, paano
yes.
masasaktan? Nasisigawan mo sila? Nasasabihan mo sila ng
minsan
masakit na
mainit,
salita?
mainit yung ulo mo. Tapos hindi mo alam kung kanino mo siya i-displace. Meron
Yeah.
po tayo nito sa psychology, yung displacement, na kunyari na-receive mo yung stress, ibibigay mo siya to a less dangerous object or person, and usually yun nga, yung mga mahal mo sa buhay. So, hindi ko talaga siya na sinasadya.
Hindi mo siya
And-
makontrol.
Hindi ko siya makontrol. And nagkakaroon ako ng guilt kasi alam ko naman sa puso ko na hindi ako masamang tao. Pero may pitik may out of nowhere na parang may surge of rage na hindi mo alam kung saan siya nanggagaling. And then after malabas mo siya, dun papasok yung guilt na, oh my God, I did this. And I'm very sorry. Syempre minsan hindi mo siya mababawi. Especially pag public figure ka, pag gano'n na yung reaction mo, minsan yun na din yung nagiging impression sa'yo, lasting impression sa'yo. So it was so stressful kasi kailangan mo ding mag-ingat kasi anytime pwede kang ma-cancel, di ba? Anytime pwede kang ma-blind item, ma-tabloid.
Na hindi nila alam na may pinagdadaanan
Yes,
ka.
yes. But I'm just so relieved talaga na nahanap ko yung sarili ko din talking to a doctor and being honest about how I feel about myself and what I do. Kasi I would remember bata pa ako, like I would have tantrums. Meron talaga and alam to ng mom ko, alam to ng kapatid ko. Tapos nung lumalaki siya, dahil hindi ko na siya talaga nalalabas, iba naman yung manifestation niya.
Yeah. Paano mo to sinabi sa family mo after the diagnosis? And then, what did you do to be okay? I mean, may binigay ng mga gamot sa'yo? Meron bang sinabi na wala mo na dapat social media? Anong in-advise ng doctor?
During the time din talaga, during the peak, I was also going through a heartache. Hindi pa kami naghiwalay noon nung partner ko po. Siya lahat din taga-receive ng panic attacks ko. There's also guilt kasi somehow,
You don't wanna do it, pero you
Yeah.
can't control it.
yes,
Oh.
he can't understand where I'm coming from. And it's so frustrating.
Pero hindi niya pa alam that time that you have this condition.
Hindi pa.
Oo. Parang
Hindi
alam niya lang is nagagalit ka,
Yes.
inaaway mo siya.
Yes. And siya yung taga-salo. And of course, when you see the people you love
Na
being in
nasasaktan.
pain because of you, parang marirealize mo, okay, I have to let this person go.
So that's the reason why you guys broke up.
Isa po sa mga rason kasi hindi ko na po makontrol yung sarili ko. Hindi ko na din alam. Of course, before that, I have my triggers. And yung masakit po doon, isa po sa trigger ko is him, seeing him.
See
So,
him.
yes, yes. Every time na magkakasama kami, like, relationships are not perfect. So, marami po kaming din pinagdaanan. So, every time I see him, parang it reminds me of my failure, you know? I want the relationship to work, but somehow,
Ayaw.
Ayaw. Ayaw ng utak ko. Hindi matanggap ng sistema ko.
Pero you still want him pero hindi pwede.
Yes.
Okay. Did he reach out after you posted? About
my
your condition?
No. But he was aware na before kami naghiwalay kasi nung grabe na po talaga yung phase ng depression ko, I decided to leave the country and to leave him behind. Yes.
Is this the one you're talking about na umalis ka ng bansa for 3 months?
Yes, for 3 months.
Para hindi ka matrigger.
Yes.
And this was a very big decision for you. You
It
posted
was.
that. Ano nangyari during that time? Saan ka nagpunta? At bakit
It was
na-feel mo na bakit kailangan lumayo ka talaga?
It was a very impulsive decision. Kaka-regular ko lang din po nun sa bubble gang. I remember. Ang daming magagandang nangyayari sa career ko. I'm so grateful po sa GMA for trusting me. But during that time, hindi ko lang talaga alam kung ano yung gagawin. Parang I'm in so much pain and I just want the pain to stop. So I left the country, I left my family, I left my boyfriend, now ex.
Did you say goodbye to your family? Or
I
to
did.
your boyfriend? Dun sa mga kontrata na iiwanan mo? Nagpaalam ka?
I did send my medical certificate to GMA and they were so understanding about it. They allowed me to recalibrate
take a
my
break.
head and go to the US and find my purpose again.
So you went to US?
Yes, for 3 months. And imagine mo po, sa 3 months na yun, marami pong nawala sa akin because I was losing, work opportunities. Pero nire-remind ko yung sarili ko na it's better to lose those opportunities than to lose myself. So nung pumunta pa ako doon, there's a lot of Filipino communities who adopted me. These are the people that I met during my Miss Universe journey. And we became friends. So I would travel from one state to another.
Bago ka mag-decide, I'm curious about that. Bago ka mag-decide that you're gonna go to US, sinong pagsistayan mo hindi mo pa alamin, May? Paano yung nangyari? Kasi hindi mura.
I know. Parang may konting ipon naman din ako. And I remember, parang yung half nun ng ipon ko, iniwan ko sa family ko kasi I don't know kung ano yung magiging journey ko.
Breadwinner ka?
Yes po. Half nun, iniwan ko po sa mama ko at sa kapatid ko. Then half nun, sabi ko, I'm gonna figure things out. So, I bought a ticket. But it was so heavy kasi iiwan mo yung mamahal mo sa buhay. Pero sabi ko,
You don't wanna do it, but you have to
Yes.
for yourself.
and then I just bought a ticket and I messaged my mama Heidi, hello if you're watching, from Texas, and I told her na, Mama Heids, I need your help. I was diagnosed with depression. I need somewhere to just breathe. I really need your help. And she was like, my place is, open for you. And I'm so grateful din sa asawa niya kasi I know they have their own lives.
Yeah.
They have their own problems, but they did adopted me for quite some time.
They opened their home for you.
Yes. And I feel so loved when I was there.
How was your US stay?
I would say na it did help a lot kasi I was in a different environment and nagkakaroon ako ng different idea na may different palang buhay outside being an actress.
Outside of showbiz.
Yes. So pagdating ko doon, I did test the waters, tinitignan ko, pwede ba akong mag-aral ng doctorate ko sa physical therapy, pwede ba akong magtrabaho ng different field,
That's nice.
But because I just have like a tourist visa, I cannot work there.
Yeah.
Nagbakasyon lang din talaga ako and I would jump from one state to another to have a different feels kung para saan talaga ako. And I had fun. I met a lot of good people po doon who adopted me.
So, during that time na nandun ka, punta ka sa iba-ibang state, nakatulong siya sa'yo
Nakatulong
mentally, pero nung kinailangan mo nang bumalik dito, pagbalik mo, kamusta?
It's another hell. It hit me hard. Kasi I just realized na tinakasan ko lang yung problems and I need to process the breakup. Sa 3 months na yun, yung ex ko, he was able to move forward na, move on, but I was still there. I have to process it. And it was hard kasi everything you see reminds of him, of you guys. At hindi naman ako basta-basta. Dahil umalis ako, pwede na akong bumalik and okay na lahat. Hindi. He was able to live a different life. And I have to respect